1, 2, 1, 2.
Wicka. Rewind.
Global muscle. No. Anyway.
Rewind. Welcome to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway, looking colourful. AJ, episode 22, mate.
This is the Olympia.
Mr. Olympia.
This is the Olympia.
Careful, watch the green tea.
Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
So today.
Yeah, I've been to Olympia. I've been to 6.
Somebody's got to brag early. First, we're going to give a shout out right away for a lady that has let us allowed to have her AMI athletes on the show.
Correct.
Tiny phenom.
Angelica Nebbia. Yep.
She's the flex editor.
Yeah, she's
our enemy because we with MD.
No, she's lovely. Yeah, we love her.
But she's got us two of our guests today.
Yes.
Who's with AMI.
Yes, correct.
So we want to give her like a thank you for having them on our show.
Yeah, and in return, we will be promoting the Olympia and discussing it and hyping it and, yes, getting as much info out there as we can about the biggest bodybuilding contest in the world.
So this is the flex editor. She's also the Mr. Olympia helper, like, what's it called?
Little helper?
Little helper. But she helps also with the Mr. Olympia contest.
Yeah. Or a promoter.
Great woman.
Yep. Can we get a different picture up or just the same picture with horses?
You can go up with Jay Cutler there, maybe?
Yeah. That was backstage at the Arnold. I was there. I was right next to him when that photo was taken. Just picture in a bikini, underwear. Yep. This photo, with Sean Roden. This is what Sean Roden should have worn to Pittsburgh. No, I'm serious. That's what he should have worn. Honestly, I made a comment. I said, look how great. That's the 2 Olympia champions. Look how amazing they look in those suits. They look so cool. Earring, look, he's got a diamond earring, AJ. Well, I'm sure you'd appreciate that, mate. Flex just looks very well presented.
Before we say that, these are your girlfriend Rosie's heart sunglasses.
Okay.
Because I lost my Louis Vuitton, 3 of my Louis Vuitton shades the last month.
Oh, where did you lose them, AJ?
3 of them. They're $500 shades, bro.
Where did you lose them, AJ?
These are Rosie's. I look like an idiot. It is what it is. But they're green lighting, and I matched it with a green color there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's George Peterson.
Yeah.
Who's that to the left?
That's Justin. Is it Justin Miller? His trainer.
I have no idea.
His prep coach? Yes, I think it is. Might be. I'm sure I've got Justin Miller in my head. Maybe Justin. I'm sure I got that right. Yeah, that's his coach. Nice guy. I was backstage. I was there backstage chatting with him at the Arnold Classic.
So thanks to Angelica for allowing us to put our name. Because it's not a given that when we're with MD, that AMI will let their athletes be on the show.
Yeah.
But it's to promote the Miss Olympia contest.
And did you know Angelica's actually a figure pro?
I thought she was a female physique pro.
No. She turned pro.
No, she's not. I'm just saying.
I'm sure it was about 7 years ago. She turned pro. I forget which. We were sat at the front together at the Arnold, and we were chatting away, and I was learning all about her. And in fact,
looks like a proper R&B chick.
In fact, you know what? The first thing she ever said to me, the first time I met her at the Arnold Classic at the Expo judging, do you know what she said? She said, "Hi Giles, where's AJ?"
That's
first.
when you know you made it.
Yeah, when Angelica says, "Where's AJ?"
No, great energy. I don't know her. Do you know her? Or
well, I met her at the Arnold, and I recognized her, but I didn't really. And
it's a good vibe. Everybody tells me.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yeah, really lovely lady. Yes, and we've had her. Yeah, she's really good, and doing a great job. So really appreciate her letting us have these access to these athletes and these people.
Because we have. Who do we have? We can tell who we have.
Yeah.
We have Juan Morel.
Yes, who won the New York Pro and the Arnold Brazil this year.
Because he's with AMI, so we're happy to have him on.
Yes, very.
And we have
Dan Solomon.
That, for people at home, Dan Solomon is the guy who is the official Mr. Olympia planner.
Mm-hmm. I've known Dan for years.
Proper bodybuilding fan. Mm-hmm. He's a fan. Mm-hmm. He's been in industry for at least 15 years now.
Yeah, must be. Well, he was the one who did Pro Bodybuilding Weekly, PBW,
on bodybuilding.com.
the original bodybuilding radio station.
On bodybuilding.com, correct?
Was it bodybuilding.com? I thought it was MD. It was on MD. I think it's been with Flex, bodybuilding.com, and MD. It's been hosted on different platforms. But he was one of the first to do what we're doing now, really. I mean, that's what Steve Bleckman asked me to do with Global Muscle Radio.
Well, we're up in the level.
Well, we're doing a little bit more than just no. I mean, we've just developed, and we've got access to this studio.
So for me, this is as exciting as talking to some of the pros, because I always want to get in the head of the higher ups. In the streets, we call IPB higher ups. You know, the higher ups.
Why though?
Why we want to speak to him?
Yeah. No, why do you want to get into their heads? That's what I mean.
Because I consider myself a little bit like Ed Connors and Joe Weider.
Okay.
Meaning I want to promote bodybuilding all the time.
Yeah.
Meaning I want to become part of the power team, not because I want power, because I want influence in a positive way.
Yes. Yeah. That's,
if you know what I mean?
That's what I like to hear.
So we're not saying, we're going to have Don Solomon out so we can just do some... well,
I won't do the gesture you normally do, AJ. When we're not on camera.
No, but it's because we want to brainstorm with him.
Yes, we want to help.
We want to help.
That's what it comes down to. It comes down to everything you and I do, everything I've done for the last 20... Coming up on my 25th year working in the industry. Started when I was 18. I'm 43 soon.
You're 43?
43 soon.
I wouldn't guess a day over 34.
Oh, AJ. You say all the right things. No, sorry.
So let me ask you one thing. What would be your ultimate dream job? If you could decide whatever in the IFBB or as a media, if you could choose.
Well, not only am I doing it, but I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah, but what would you like to work in the IFBB?
The IFBB?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
In the Pro League, you mean?
Of course. Hello, you think I would work? Did you see the security in Elite with Arnold?
Oh, yeah. This is something... We were going to talk about this in episode 21, but Arnold got ninja kicked.
I call it a Van Damme kick from behind.
No, that thing is... Just the fact that you use the words not from behind, but the fact he got attacked from that was so cowardly.
Arnold didn't even fall down.
No, he's that much of a badass. 70
years old.
Yeah,
they couldn't even knock Arnold down.
Amazing. And he actually put on his social media, he thought he was being jostled when the crowd. He didn't even know he'd been kicked. That's how much of a badass.
He's got a new movie, but before we go into the IPB, he's got a new movie.
Terminator. Hey, look.
Is it Terminator what?
It's
6,
called
7,
Dark.
8?
Is it Dark? This is the new Terminator film. I'll just see the top. Dark Fate. Now, this has got Linda Hamilton in it.
The original one? Yeah.
Yeah, from Terminator 2.
Well, which terminal was this? Terminator 5?
This is Terminator 5 or 6. Well, apparently they go the story arc there. This is like a sequel to 2. So 3, 4, and Terminator Genesis. This is kind of like a separate universe.
I know this is blasphemous for you.
Very what?
You do know I like Sylvester Stallone more than Arnold?
Ooh. Oh, really? Why?
His movies is better, man.
It was more
Rocky, Rambo.
But he was more of an actor. Arnold kind of just tried it as one of say 5 different things.
Best bodybuilder by the age of what? 24 in the world.
Like retired in his 20s.
Coming from a war-ridden country.
What? Austria?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even know. Come on.
No. Well, I suppose, the age. Yes, of course.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
Went to America, knew nobody, didn't even know the language.
Yep.
Best bodybuilder by the age of what, 25?
Yeah, I think it might be earlier.
Beat 7 times, even though the competition wasn't as deep, but still 7 times in a row.
Yeah, but arguably... He could have won 76, 77, 78, 79. I mean, but then again, it's not to take away from the guys that did, because you've got to be in a show to be able to win it. You can't say, oh, well, if you'd have been in this contest, you would have been good enough to win
Victor
it. Victor
Richards, he would have won, but he didn't even...
Don't start me on the Victor Richards uncrowned Mr. Olympia thing. Do not get me started.
And then...
It's like talking about Kai Green at the 2016 Olympia. It triggers me.
And like all bodybuilders, they say they want to become action movie stars. Nothing happens. But he went into the biggest the biggest box office star in the world at the time.
Yeah. People laughed at him. They said he's got a funny accent.
His first movie was...
Oh, it was Conan.
No, it was not.
Oh, not the bananas.
No, it was
Hercules. Pumping Iron.
Hercules.
Hercules Goes Bananas.
Something like that.
In New York.
Yeah.
That was he played Arnold Strong, didn't he? That was 1976, was it? 76?
70s, of course, about the late 70s,
Yeah, Pumping Iron was filmed in 75, but it wasn't actually released until 1977.
And then with no
And then it went huge.
higher education, well, he has education, but no college education, I would think Arnold has, does he?
I don't know.
No. Not only to become a politician, but the governor in the biggest state in the world. Is California the biggest state in the world?
It's
Shane.
I think it's the 8th. AJ,
You know nothing. What do you know?
AJ. I think it's the 8th largest economy in the world, and he was governor from 2003 to 2011. Because I remember he did for the British viewers. They'll remember Richard and Judy. You remember Richard and Judy, don't you? Yeah, he was on a Richard and Judy show in 2003, and they asked him. This was a few weeks before he ran for governor, and they said, "We've heard a rumor that you might be running for governor of California," and they
I was really rooting for him to win.
AJ, they paused, and you could see the look of guilt of, yes, I am, but I can't say it. It was brilliant. Honestly, watched it, and he's going, well, I can't confirm, but you could see he was wanting to say, yes, I'm going to run for it. I'm going to win.
And after governor, back to the movies, even at age past 60, looking good still in a t-shirt. It's just an all-around legend.
Do you remember when he came back as well into 2012? What was that film? The one with the guy with the car and he nicks the car. The Last Stand.
Expendables?
No. It was this. You know the Expendables. That was he was in the first
Escape Plan with Sylvester Stallone in the prison.
No, that was 2013. That was a couple of years later. That was a good film. I like that one. You hit like a vegetarian.
I love prison movies.
Do you? Why's that?
Prison movies. That's the way to go.
Alcatraz.
Blood in, blood out.
What's that called? What's that?
Blood in, blood out. For people, I hope it's a Latino gangster prison movie.
No.
The best prison movie of all time. Blood in, Vato Loco.
Have you seen Scum?
It's not as good as Vato Loco.
Oh, you've seen
bro.
Scum?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Seen them all.
When he gets the pool balls in the sock and...
Your best job in RBB Pro, what would it be?
I actually don't know. I don't know because I've done show promotion and it can be a very very stressful job.
I'll be the right hand man to Tyler Mannion, bro.
Okay, the new vice president, 22 years old. Yeah. We're both drinking green tea at the same time. I tell you, we'll take it in turns.
That was really soft, wasn't it?
Ooh, with a little finger.
No, only old people drink tea in Norway, so I'm gonna put it away.
Green tea? You can't diss the
Only
green
old
tea.
people drink tea in Norway.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, so I'm not drinking more tea.
What are you gonna drink then? Sitting with a beer.
That would be, or something else that we want to do before we didn't do it.
No, we're good boys.
What are we talking about? Okay.
Oh, the singing. There's been a lot of singing going on in my house last night. And
I woke up, I went out, Giles had the breakfast ready, 12 eggs, some watermelon, and I played out.
Cup of tea.
And I came on my computer.
Yeah.
Which one was it again?
Michael Bolton.
If a man loves him. No, it was.
No, it was Michael Bolton. I remember.
What's that song called again?
You triggered a memory.
What was that song called again?
How am I supposed to live without you?
No. Oh,
AJ,
Michael Bolton is the man.
I've got to say it triggered a memory from my
because you had a good story. I haven't heard it yet. Because I like to be shocked on the show. So what's the childhood memory of the Michael Bolton? If a man loves a woman.
Well, yes, the title is very apt.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
I was, should I say this? Or?
Say it, bro.
Well, I was 15.
Okay.
My sister's best friend was 21.
Your sister's best friend was
friend was 21. So I was technically underage.
Oh.
Let's just say a man did love a woman that night. when that music was playing. I was playing on a cassette on loop on my stereo.
Oh, so when that came out this morning.
It was playing all night. Well, when I say all night, I mean...
You came many times, you mean?
Well, she did say it was the best 16 seconds of her life.
Times 7, 8, because you're young, you can go many times.
I have very different recollection. unless I go back and reprogram.
So when I came out, you were thinking about your debut, as they say.
Debut, yeah. Yes, my baptism of fire.
So you were 15 and she was 21.
Yeah,
She like James Bond.
Or What's the singer?
Reversed way of R. Kelly.
What's your... Yeah, okay, yeah.
Or the reversed way.
Yeah.
You are the young.
I know, it was awful. It was just, I was mauled.
Yeah, you need to go to that Me Too movement thing now.
I do, me too, yeah.
You've been harassed, haven't you?
I was assaulted many times over a period of weeks.
Oh no, back to bodybuilding.
Aw, you're bringing back lovely memories though.
We got 2 bodybuilding shows this weekend. Puerto Rico Pro Wings of Strength, Tim Gardner.
Yep.
We got all the female classes. Female bodybuilding, figure fitness, bikini. Do they have bikini? Maybe they boycotted it because they want to be a little
It's Margie's doing Puerto Rico, isn't she?
Margie
V Marvelous in episode...
Marvelous woman. Big size, guns, belts.
Episode 19, wasn't it?
Pecs.
Yes, she's got pecs.
I'm just saying she got everything. Did you see her legs?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she showed us her legs.
I was like, yes, it's okay.
Yep.
You were laughing, and I was like, why are you laughing?
I went bright red.
Yeah, you went red.
I went bright red.
What?
You went a shade.
I think the reddest moment you had, is that a correct way to say it? Reddest moment? No.
That's fair.
It's probably when Minna Pugliatti said you were getting red. No, Jessica it was. She showed some cleavage and she said, Giles, you can have me whenever you want, remember? And Giles was like, she.
AJ, I'll say this as an engaged. Why would I have a ring on?
Are you engaged? Do men wear engagement rings?
I was looking there to see if I had engagement ring.
Wow, you're on the Elton John train.
I don't know why I did that.
No,
I was actually looking for. I am engaged.
How long you been engaged, by the way?
Far too long.
How long?
Far too long.
How long?
4 or 5 years. And I always said I'd never get engaged unless I was going to get married. And that's exactly what I've done.
I'm only engaged to men in thongs, bro.
AJ, be careful what people quote, because that can get taken out of context and you can have a little video on Instagram.
Or a female over 80 kilos of muscle.
And AJ, like we've been seeing a lot lately, a lot of our footage from the show is getting ripped.
Have you not?
Yeah. And they're getting more views than us. That's the bit annoying me.
We're going to go back to that as soon as we just mentioned... let's talk about... the Puerto Rico Pro first.
Yes.
So all the girls' classes are there.
Yeah, sip my old man tea.
In the open, pressed on the button, bro. Shane O'Mac. That's Vince McMahon's son.
Stop throwing me
I wish I had his money. Let's go in. No, not her. The MD thing.
MD. Here we go.
You go down.
That's the
So this is the man list we have right now.
That's not the full.
No. Derek Upshaw. Andrea Muzzi. Carlos Rodriguez. Milan Sadek.
John De La Rosa's in.
And John De La Rosa is in.
Yeah.
It can't be 5 guys, Giles.
No, it'd be more than that. It'd be more. Thing is, two pro shows on the same... Is it the same day or the same weekend? Well, it doesn't matter.
Where's our friend and Phil Heath's good apprentice?
Patrick Moore.
Is he doing this one?
Patrick Moore is doing the Cali.
Okay. So Puerto Rico have a very tiny open class as we know right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will be bigger.
That'll definitely bump up.
So this show will be out when you know the results. Based on these names with John De La Rosa.
Yep.
John De La Rosa just texted me. I'm bragging now. John De La Rosa just DM'd me as we started recording, and he said he's bringing Neil Hill with him.
Okay.
To Puerto Rico.
Okay.
To make him peak correctly.
Right.
You think that will make him beat Milan, Giles?
I don't know.
Why don't you know? Because Milan got all the tools.
Well, thing is, John turned up with no glaze on, didn't he, at the New York Pro? And I think,
would he do that?
there's no way that Neil Hill would have let him go on stage with no glaze. He'd have gone, "Hey, John, come here. You got no glaze on, mate." And these things are something that. But the thing is, that's something that John should have.
But John, isn't that? Yeah, because you prepped for what? 2-3 months. He's prepped,
and he's done 100 shows.
Why wouldn't he?
I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
Isn't it weird?
Well, remember what in last episode, Jose Raymond said, you can by all means use the tanning services at shows. We're not saying don't, but apply some tan yourself as well over a couple of days. So,
but why would you prep for that long, diet that long, use all the supplements, train, sleep, cardio, all this, and don't put the oil on?
Yeah, no, but the sheen. It's a sheen.
It's
more of a sheen. Yeah.
Why didn't he put it on?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Go back again to the same no bull chain.
Yep, thank you.
Oh, Shane. You're not that quick, yeah? Oh, he goes to the same one. And you go up. You go up.
It's Derek. Hey, Derek.
Go up. That's Derek. Go down. Let's show Derek, the hater. He's my hater from the past. We become more friendly, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Derek with the side try there.
Mm-hmm. Big.
He has a big.
Still loving Michigan.
He's got a big business.
Yes, he's very busy now.
He has a company that does what? What does he do again?
I haven't a clue.
He's got 500, and not like the other guy said he has 1,000 employees. He didn't have it. This guy, Derek, actually has it.
Yeah,
He used to compete.
Yeah.
He used to compete back in the day. He's still big, good arms, guns.
I think 5 years last time he competed. I think I saw a video.
I told you like 5'1", 5'0". He's a Michigan fan. Football. Okay. He's a big rival with Cox. Go down. Just stroll down a little bit. This is for people. This is muscular development. Well, what's this list? Now we're talking. This is the bigger list. Go down.
That's Cali. It's the same one.
Okay.
Someone's just quoted it.
There's my... you see my picture down there?
Tom Cruise.
That's the picture of Tom Cruise.
Why Tom Cruise, Mr. Scientology?
I love Tom Cruise, bro.
You love Tom Cruise?
He's the best white man alive.
The thing about Tom Cruise is I don't want to like his films because I find him a bit weird, but I always end up liking his films.
To do with it. Everybody in Hollywood is weird, bro. Jose Raymond is talking.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how... He's going to be on an episode very soon. Brad Rowe.
Yeah, Brad Rowe.
So go up. So this is MD Forums. All the legends, that's Giles, myself. Well, we're not saying we're legends. But Brad Rowe,
legend.
Jose Raymond, Evan Centopani, Ron Harris, Goon Griffin, Cox, Derek Johnson, Butty, Michael Edwards, Green 77, Don. What's it called? Don Flex.
Yep.
Got all the legends in here.
Are we going to talk about...
Yeah. So here you want to go.
Cali?
MD Forums.
Yeah.
So the Cali Pro...
Where's he going?
Go down. That's the list.
Okay.
So we got...
What's the full list?
Go down a little bit. There.
Yeah. Thank
Cali Pro, a bigger show in the open so far.
AJ, who's your top three looking at that immediately?
Okay. Let's see. John Anderson, by the way. I love John Anderson energy.
Why?
The guy with the little bit suspect traps.
Yes.
John Anderson, for people, check John Anderson.
Yeah.
Very suspect traps.
Very suspect.
But what a motivator. Have you seen?
I've not seen it. I've not seen any of it.
Each time we go to Instagram, he's full of energy. He's a wrestler. He's a personal trainer.
Okay.
He has his own... This is a guy who has energy, always on some caffeine pills.
Right.
I'm going for just quick here.
Who's your top three? Oh, Silvio Samuel's in the open.
Can we get Silvio on, please?
We can get Silvio. He's always on my social media commenting and...
Silvio Samuel.
You'd like to get Silvio on?
Oh, that would be a not this. I've seen your other interviews. They don't go deep enough.
Right. Okay.
We want him because he was in prison.
Yes.
His wife tried to kill him.
Yeah, that's what you've always said that.
Poisoned him. Put shit in his while Silvio Samuel was prepping. Yep. She poisoned his drink.
Did she leave the tea bag in like Shane?
Poor guy, Silvio. Anyway, I got
Sergey Kulyev. Was those photos we saw? He looks very good. I think
Arno Gwen is a hit or miss.
Well, I've never seen him on, but
the way you reacted when I say Arno again, you weren't impressed.
No, because I saw him. I've seen him at the 2017 Tampa Pro, and I'm telling you, mate, I'm losing faith.
Just based on
AJ, listen, I mean, losing faith in his ability to get in condition because this guy's got an amazing physique, but he comes in looking 4 or 5 weeks out, and he's so good.
I'm going for Eddie Bracamonte.
Okay.
Tim Budesheim.
Yeah. Come on.
I see that. I thought I saw. It's hard because I like the pictures from that.
Come on. Quick. 5, 4, 3.
Patrick Moore.
Okay. Mine's Patrick Moore, Tim Budesheim, and I'm going to take a chance on Sergey Kulyev.
Eddie looked good, man. He beat a lot of good guys.
I know.
He beat James, didn't he?
I think I've got a feeling this Sergey's going to look really good because I've seen he's done very well in these kind of contests. I think he's always up in the top 5. So I'm going to go Sergey, Patrick, and Tim Budesheim. And in fact, I think Tim Budesheim... The final call-out will be Tim Budesheim versus Patrick Moore.
People at home? Well, It's too late because they're going to watch it. I want to put them on Instagram if they get the results right, but we're not exactly technology. We're slow.
Yes. I'm a bit slow.
Back to the thing we were talking about before the contest.
What's that?
People putting pictures of us talk. We are getting hundreds of thousands of views on iTunes.
We get good views, we get good on the audio downloads because we're available on iTunes and SoundCloud. We get good views. The shorter clips, I mean, the height we've had over 160,000 on some, 20, 30, 40,000. But
our main YouTube show, since we're 3 hours, is not. We're not getting the 100,000 ratings that we to get.
We're not getting the 6 figures.
So, but the point is, people just taking clips of what we're talking about, putting it on YouTube, and they're getting 100,000 views.
But isn't that...
What's going on?
Are you pissed off?
Why can't they just watch our show?
Or do you
No.
think, do you not think all these outlets, it's good that they see us as... They're seen us as a reputable source and platform?
I have to cut my beard. I have to not sleep that night because I can't sleep getting up that early because my regular job in Norway is at night.
Right.
So I can't work. So getting up very early is a very big thing for me.
Yeah.
So I have to stay up all night.
Okay.
Because the plane leaves here like 6 o'clock in the morning. Whatever.
Yeah, you don't want to go to sleep. You panic.
So I have to do all that. Get the ticket. And I don't like the internet. So it's very hard for me to get plane tickets. I have to go on the internet. I don't like going on the internet other than bodybuilding. and then you have to drive an hour to pick me up. We drive back to you. Then we go back to the studio. Then we got to wash our clothes and get our suits ready. Then we got to
dry clean.
we got to get the jewelry on. We got to do everything.
Yeah.
And these guys just sit at home with the fucked up Skype connection, getting 100,000 views off of what we're doing. I know I don't like it.
You don't like it.
I don't see that's flattering at all. I see it as disrespectful.
Do you? So you like them to stop?
I would like those people, 100,000 views, to come to our show and watch it so we can get 100,001 view.
Right.
You got to support what you're stealing from, man.
Okay.
Don't you agree?
I'm not sure.
We get, let's say, 15,000 on a regular episode.
Yeah. Okay.
And with the extra short clips, we're up to like 50,000.
Yeah.
They have just one video rambling about what we're saying.
Rambling.
And they get 150,000.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure.
I don't like it.
Well, it is what it is. It's like a lot of... I mean, sometimes when you can rip pictures off things to, like I've done in my shows and different platforms, and I've done it.
And
you've got to sometimes... thing is, the content... I don't know.
And YouTube comments are the worst comments in mankind.
We're pretty good with ours.
We are good.
Yeah, well,
because we have a proper bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
But those other channels, but mostly like 16-year-olds, actually, I don't know how old they are. The amount of disrespect and rudeness.
Yeah, but there's no accountability. That's why.
Say things
that's society. It's like going on Twitter. You're going to get.
And they have
it's faceless.
And these,
no responsibility.
Man. New York Pro Jose was good. He exactly what I had. I had Alex winning.
Yeah.
Jose had Alex winning. I had Eduardo winning easy.
Okay.
Jose had Eduardo winning easy.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see that we shared the same opinion.
Yeah.
You had Keon winning or you had Alex winning?
I did like Keon's physique. I like his physique. I couldn't believe how much he'd improved from the Arnold Classic to the New York Pro. It was incredible.
Or was the competition worse?
I didn't really see beyond the top two, to be honest, in the Classic. No, I didn't. That's the only two that stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been at the Arnold Classics and, there's the top six are great. And then beyond that, you think, how did some of them even get their pro card?
So how many... and by the way...
And so many of the Classics aren't even in condition. Why? Why would you not be in condition if you're Classic? You're not holding 300 pounds of muscle, and it's not... and you've got a weight and height limit to meet, so why can't you get your ass in condition?
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mr. Olympia, we are 100 days away now.
Yes, AJ. AJ, give me your 3 all-time favorite Olympia moments.
Before I do that, let's do some rumors. Is Sean Roden... He's not prepping with Psycho Fitness anymore, is he?
I heard that a few weeks ago. No, a week ago or so. Yeah.
He's prepped by Charles Glass.
Yeah, well, in fairness, we used to work with Charles Glass because I remember being at the City Atlantic gym when Rosie was doing, my partner Rosie Rascal was doing the Olympia in 2016. And we went to the City Atlantic gym.
Rookie of the year, by the way.
And Rosie went over to see Patrick Tura, coach at the time. Iris Kyle was there. He did Tada. I was training. Obviously, eyes were on me.
All eyes on Giles.
I mean, Rami was stood next to me, but I'd like to think they were looking at me.
Of course. Everybody knows Giles.
Rami stole my readout machine, and I was not impressed.
What did you do? Slap him in the back of his head?
I waved my finger at him.
Giles.
As he did his set. With his eyes closed.
Giles.
What?
Rami, man. 2012, when he came out New York Pro. You know what I did?
13.
Almost. 13.
13 and 14.
I almost cried of joy.
Why?
Because finally there was a new freak in town. Because we've seen Ronnie Coleman. And since Ronnie Coleman was really nobody, like such a beautiful man, like a freak.
Yeah.
You know, like not like that. Because Rolly Winkler is a freak, but back then he wasn't a freak like now. You can't even compare.
No.
You remember Rolly Winkler, Generation Iron? You were like... Well,
he supersized, didn't he, Rolly, when he went to Q8 in 2013,
So
14,
finally we had a beautiful, huge freak with like a men's physique waist. And legs in proportion back then. Yes, back then they were in proportion. They were not too big then. No. Okay. Smiling, humble, gentleman, that dwarfed the other guys. And since then, not
really. Do you think you'll climb back up from? Because he went to second in 2017. He dropped down to 6th place. Do you think he can climb back up?
Yeah. Of course he can climb back up, but it's not. Ronnie Coleman went back there and said, "This is our new Mr. Olympia, guaranteed." He said, "Yeah, he said it. He's the next new Mr. He's the next new me." Ronnie said. He said it, so I don't say.
Not feeling the rummy.
No, but Ronnie said it.
Yes.
So I'm just, and
but he also
was on the
said.
train.
Well, I was going to say he said Victor Martinez was going to win the Olympia as well. But then again, arguably,
Victor Martinez did win the Olympia, though.
Arguably, in 2007, he should have won the Olympia.
He's in the streets of the Dominican Republic. Everybody knows Victor Martinez is the true Mr. Olympia anyway.
Yeah.
I think he hasn't even an award made in the Dominican Republic.
A big statue.
The mayor just hit. You got
the statue of him hitting his readable bicep.
Your top 3 best Mr. Olympia moments.
What, personal ones that I've been to, or
just
overall?
whatever. Overall, for you, that touched your soul the most.
Ronnie 2003 when he came back.
Yeah, but what time of when he came out on stage, when he won?
Well, when he just stepped on stage and it was like, whoa!
Yeah.
I think also the one Olympia I wish I'd gone to was the 1993 Olympia when Dorian walked out at 257. That for me was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And also, I'd love to have gone to the 1991 Mr. Olympia as well.
I can't. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Yeah, and Dorian and Lee Haney, and Vince Taylor did the Terminator routine. Leela Brada
best routine of all time.
Yeah, Leela Brada did. No, Leela Brada did the best routine at all that time in that contest.
Ernie is better.
Ernie.
Terminator.
Ernie.
Lee Haney, you're going out.
Ernie.
I'm talking about Vince Taylor now, aren't I? Vince Taylor. You know Vince Taylor with the Terminator routine. That's Vince Taylor, not Ernie Taylor.
You've just been saying Ernie.
Oh, okay. No, not Ernie. Okay. Vince, of course.
Okay.
What's that routine, remember?
Yes.
When he did like Sean Ray.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh. Zap.
No, my most memorable moments. When Kai did the hair flip to Phil Heath. And I thought it's going to be real beef. Beautiful moments.
We spoke about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't divulge.
When Gunther Schlierkamp got 5th and he walked and he...
I was going to say Gunther because I was there.
When he took the mic and said, "Calm down, people. I know I'm the champion, but calm down.
Do you know?
I love you all."
AJ, when that happened, when he got...
What a moment.
Listen, when that happened, we all stood up and he got a standing ovation and I clapped so hard, I broke one of my rings.
Seriously?
It broke. It was...
you got so excited.
I was clapping so hard, it broke into pieces. And I was like...
so excited about
Gunther, yeah!
Without sounding too into guys, who's the most handsome bodybuilder of all time, Giles, for you?
Well, I look in the mirror every morning.
Other than yourself. Yes.
Yes,
Who's the most handsome bodybuilder, male bodybuilder of all time?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really think, I don't know. It's not something I've thought about.
Now that's because we're talking about Gunther now.
I've not you handsome man. I've not thought about it.
You don't think about those things.
I don't think about how handsome a man is.
You don't?
A bodybuilder. No,
you
I don't.
remember when Craig Titus was young and he had full head of hair and he had that gun, remember? It's a good look. Poor Craig Titus, bro. Oh.
Poor Craig Titus?
Oh, it's not poor Craig Titus.
Are you kidding?
I mean poor, what happened, the whole situation, winning from a superstar to a murderer, man.
Yeah. I watched a documentary about that the other week.
What do you think happened to him?
And
mental on drugs?
Dave Plumbo was on it. He was on it. He said Craig Titus, his friend, and he completely throws him under the bus. It was hilarious.
Oh, no.
I mean, it wasn't. Thing is, I don't want to say it's hilarious because it's a very serious subject, but no, it was terrible. It was awful.
What do you think, Craig? Too much drugs.
No, I remember at the 2002 Olympia. I was talking to. I won't say actually. It was there was a. No, I don't want to mention names. Well,
mention names.
Will Harris.
The 700-year-old vampire.
Yeah, he's 700 years old. Yeah, he looks well for it.
Oh, he looks very good.
And And I'd been, let's say I'd been partying all night.
Yeah.
So it was like 6, 7 in the morning, and then in comes Will with his friend, and we all of a sudden the Craig Titus topic came up, and he said this is just as Craig had moved from California to Las Vegas, and he was telling me about some of Craig's exploits and the fact that he really had to move away because otherwise it would have ended badly for him. So. Would
you interview Craig Titus if he came out?
If he came out, I don't think he's coming out, is he?
If
Kelly's out. Kelly's out. Kelly Ryan.
Why is Kelly out and he's... What's going on? What? Aren't they both murderers?
No, because I think he when it came to it, I think you actually see the courtroom clip in this documentary I saw on TV, and she turned and he says, I think he took the blame. So she got. He kind of obviously they got divorced, and
so for people at home, Craig Titus was a superstar in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
He
I saw him compete a couple of times.
Addicted to drugs.
Yeah, and sex parties and all that.
And sex parties and all this. And then he went mental, and him and Kelly Ryan killed a poor woman.
Yeah.
Their helper. Horrible. Melissa something.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the documentary, you don't know, and they did like a recreation with different... It's funny because the actor they used looked nothing like Craig Titus. It was just some random guy they dragged out of a gym.
So when I said poor Craig Titus, I didn't mean that's bad for him. I just mean that fucked, messed up situation. Like,
it was horrible. Yeah.
Went from everything to nothing.
And it was very... I don't want to say it. I mean, obviously, it's very bad for the family and everything, but it was very bad for the sport, and it kind of... it put bodybuilders in a very dim light, I think. Do you think?
This dim light type of thing, man. Bodybuilders, man. It's like we have there's no support anyway. So it doesn't really matter anymore.
What do you mean no support?
Nah, we're not on TV. There's no like back in it was ESPN. It was
back in that day.
Back in the day, you know. And now there's nothing. So who cares? Well, it's like come on. Well, this is publicity. Body power, only men's physique, guys. No bodybuilders, man. I've given up.
Well, this is why bodybuilders do need to be extra professional nowadays.
And they're not.
Well, I don't want to be too negative because a lot of them are. Many of them are not. A lot of them are actually also not.
And we know that from us personal.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the car, AJ. Do you want to, talking about how they conduct themselves on social media? You know, the guys...
It's just...
I don't want to be standing here with my halo because don't be too judgmental because I don't think anyone could afford to be that judgmental. But...
Of course not.
We see on social media, because I judge people by their actions, not their words. And you see the ones that are in relationships, and then you see that they're liking all these pictures of all these girls with their asses out, and you think, hang on a minute, how would your wife feel if she saw that? And because I don't do it, I mean, if you can find any picture of a girl with her ass out and I've liked it, you let me know, because...
That'll be no problem. I'll see you do it every time.
No, I don't. Oh, I don't. Because I wouldn't like it done in reverse with, if Rosie was liking...
We just had a pro just try to hit on your girlfriend the other day.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to say his name.
Yeah, lots of...
Very disappointing to see, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Not because it's going to happen, but so embarrassed for him. Like, why would you come on our show, be good friends, and then send love hearts to Giles' girlfriend later?
Fiance.
Isn't it kind of weak?
It's... Yeah, I think it's not something you can really explain or excuse away. I take that as very disrespectful. So, I wouldn't do that to your girlfriend on social media.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for a muscle girl, bro.
Talking about
over 80 kilos.
Well, you are talking a lot about handsome men. So.
I know.
And you're wearing girl sunglasses.
Oh, that's your wife's fiance's sunglasses.
And you had Michael Bolton playing in the trying to trigger memories.
So you're saying if you listen to Michael Bolton, you like guys? No. Why would you say that?
Shane, do you think listening to Michael Bolton at age 30, whatever,
34?
Do you think that's a feminine thing or?
Maybe a little bit.
Says the guy who listens only to Coldplay.
Yo, it's the Coldplay. Get out. Get out. Actually, do you know what? Do you want to tell
You got one good song.
Do you want to hear a funny story? AJ, do you want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
Many years ago, I was staying at my girlfriend's parents' house.
Yeah.
In the north, well, here in the northwest. And I accidentally left my car unlocked.
Oh, no.
And you know when you used to have those disc changers in your car, the thing, and it'll hold 10s. Well, I used to keep all my CDs in the back. So basically, a burglar? Yeah, car theft burglar, came up and obviously realised that silly sods left his car open. They went and took the stereo, and in the back, they took all the CDs, but the only ones they left was my Coldplay CD. And my Metallica CDs.
Oh, nobody wants to listen to Metallica.
Yeah, so that was all that was left. Was
of course
one Coldplay DVD.
You stole all your Craig David CDs.
I mean, the fact that they couldn't even think it wasn't even worth taking a Coldplay CD away
or Metallica.
Coldplay. Oh, don't get me started about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow, the blonde actor.
No, she was in. Oh, God, awful.
Isn't it overrated?
She's very annoying. Conscious uncoupling.
Oh, she's not. Okay,
she's a bit she's all right. She's funny. She's just a bit away with the fairy, a bit crazy.
Don't we have an also?
We've talked about Tom Cruise, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Don't we have an? This is a weird intro, but don't we have?
It's always weird.
Don't you have an announcement?
Oh yes,
two announcements, guys.
Oh shit! I've not sent you the picture. Not sent you the picture.
First one is Ronnie Coleman.
Yes.
Talk about that one.
You want to
talk about your past with Ronnie Coleman?
Well, I worked for Ronnie Coleman from 2014 2016 as his RCSS, his supplement company UK market manager. A fantastic experience. I had the car
with
I got
Brendan. Isn't that what you work hard with, Brendan?
Brendan Ahern, yeah, fantastic guy. I actually met him when I covered the Arnold Europe in Madrid. And I went over and I needed their plug socket to upload the pictures to the server. And Kevin Horton was there, who's friends with Brendan. And
the guy we met last week in Body Power.
No, we didn't meet Kevin Horton.
Oh, who was that?
I don't know. Somebody else.
Who wants Body Power again?
Oh, Nick Horton.
Nick Horton.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. This is Orton and Horton.
Orton. You know who Randy Orton is?
Wrestler.
Oh, the legend killer. Yeah.
Thank you.
Some of the prep coaches
I've actually got an earpiece in here, and I've got someone.
Who's the number one legend killer as a prep coaches today? Don't say it. Okay, you met Kevin Horton, and then.
Yeah, and he introduced me to Brendan. They just launched RCSS. I'm trying to cut long story short here. And basically, I said, right, I'm going to work for those guys. And 3 years later, I ended up working for them. Had a great time with Ronnie. To, look after him at the Body Power. Speak frequently to him. He was very involved in the company. We sponsored Rosie, and it was a great experience. And recently, because Ronnie has a really, really big YouTube channel. About I think it's coming up to 700,000
subscribers, but no content.
And they've got no content. So
maybe they'll tell all the placards, maybe some steal it, the idea? Will they steal the idea now?
No.
Okay.
What are they going to do? Approach Ronnie?
You'll slap him around, pick him up and deadlift him.
Tombstone.
Yeah.
Okay, see, yeah.
Undertaker, yeah.
A wrestling move.
Yeah.
That's tombstoning, yes. I've learned off my learned colleague, AJ.
Your favorite finishing is the tombstone?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's the only one I know.
Mine's the pedigree. Triple H is one.
It's the only one I know, mate.
Because you met Triple H. Okay, back to Ronnie Coleman.
Yes, I did. Yes. So anyway, Brendan came to me and he said, look, Giles, he said, I've seen what you're doing with Global Muscle. He said, I really, really like what you're doing. He said, I've shown Ronnie. He thinks it looks fantastic. He said, and he was kind of basically asking questions. He said, where's it? He said, is that in your house, that studio? And I was like,
no, professional.
I said, I would love this in our studio. I would love it. It's fantastic. But it works out great. So he was asking questions and he says, well, Ronnie is a huge asset because, for the Generation Iron thing, it really helped.
On Netflix,
it really helped the supplement brand because obviously on Netflix you're going to be reaching more than just bodybuilding fans.
Yeah,
and it reached out to a whole new demographic, and obviously it helped. I say obviously a lot. It helped supplement sales. Yeah. So he's seen the value of utilizing Ronnie on platforms as a personality because people really want to know Ronnie. Because
everybody wants to know Ronnie.
I mean, I've spent a lot of time around, and honestly, he's one of these.
Wait.
He's very. Do you know what somebody said the definition of charisma is?
Ain't nothing but a peanut.
AJ, I'm asking you a question.
The definition of when you meet a person in real life.
What is the definition of charisma?
Swag.
No.
What do you mean the definition of charisma?
I think this was on Jordan Peterson, my
your hero.
My hero, yeah. I think it got cancelled the other week. I was supposed to go to his seminar, his lecture. It got cancelled right at the last minute. I was here. I don't think I've had my money back on the tickets, actually.
Same with my plane to Norway. No. Back to your story. What's the definition of charisma? Teach me. I don't know.
He said charisma is when you make the other person feel special.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, well, you got a lot of charisma.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. So basically, there's a lot that they can do with Ronnie if we had a platform, like on a show, kind of like this. So we've been coming up with the idea of doing a weekly show having 30, 40 minutes, I think, but getting Ronnie on, talking about with yourself, talking about different subjects, not just bodybuilding, so other subjects, and I just think it would go huge. I think it really would be big.
We should do a prop. I won't do that. I won't say that
Come on.
because now the Norwegian people will. We have the people looking at me. In Norway don't like bodybuilding, so I can't say those things.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, Ronnie Coleman. Yeah.
So we are looking to do very, very soon. Ain't nothing but a podcast.
Podcast.
The other name was King's Corner.
Say it in Ronnie's voice. When you go to Nando's, say that in his voice.
What?
When you go to Nando's, speak like you did with Ronnie Coleman. Remember when he orders? When Ronnie Coleman goes to Nando's with you.
Oh, I tell you,
how does he order? Say it in his voice.
I've been to Nando's with Ronnie Coleman and Phil Heath.
Yeah. How does he order it in his voice?
What?
Ronnie Coleman. You do the Ronnie Coleman voice.
I don't understand what you mean.
You go to Nando's. You talk like that.
I go to Nando's 3 times a day.
One more time.
No. And I ordered
one more time.
And he likes lemon.
One more time.
No.
I go to say it one more time.
I said to Ron, we're in the car I was in the Ronnie mobile because I had a blue version of the car I had, and I all sticking it with Ronnie stuff. And I said, Ronnie, do you like Nando's? And he went, oh, Nando's. It's like me, Nando's. I said, do you go a lot when you're in the UK? When you come over, he goes, well, I go to Nando's 3 times a day. Yeah, buddy.
Yep,
ain't nothing but a chicken.
What does he order?
He likes his half chicken, but he doesn't like medium hot. He likes it lemon and herb.
Okay, what's the difference between medium hot and lemon and herb?
Well, lemon and herb's for girls, basically.
So Ronnie's a girl eater at Nando's.
I got him the medium, and he went, oh, no, I don't want medium. I went, Ronnie, it's not hot. It's not, it ain't hot.
I like it spicy.
It ain't hot. What's that song? No, anyway.
Drop it like it's hot. That's Snoop Doggy Dogg. That's a.
What's that? That's that guy, that rapper called.
Drop it like it hot.
No, stop confusing me.
Snoop Doggy Dogg, Soldier Boy.
Hot. The rap.
Hot Coolio. Hot. That's what you like. Coolio, Warren G, old school.
You're filling my head with hotness now. So what was it we were talking about?
Ronnie Coleman going to Nando's.
Yeah. Well, I went with Phil Heath last week. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, chilling for 4 hours.
Phil Heath doesn't eat that much food. As I was expecting.
A lot of bodybuilders don't, mate. I've been with Zach Khan.
Roman Fritz definitely don't eat a lot of food.
And he's eating less than me, Zach.
Zach? I think he's hiding something. Remember he said he didn't train and you caught him on Instagram?
Oh, he said, He says, I've not trained. When he had the leg injury, he sent me a picture and he said, I haven't trained for 3 months.
He was huge.
No, this is 2 separate times. He said, I haven't trained for 3 months. And he sent me a picture and his arms were still like 20 inches. And then he said he went to Brazil on a tour, and he said, I've not trained for 4 weeks. And that day, I'd just seen a training video that had gone up from the day before in Brazil. So
some private session with Larissa Reis?
No, he was doing like lots of hammer curls, and he was bullshitting, basically. So.
Remember Larissa Reis was just huge back in the day?
Yeah, she was him and...
Brazilian, isn't she, or something?
Larissa Reis, she was fantastic, yeah.
With the big...
Nutrex.
Him and her and Zach on.
Yeah.
She was the first, like, blonde with tattoo. She was the first kind of it girl in that thing, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was very popular.
Very popular.
Very popular.
Long fingernails and a cap and...
Yeah, I wonder what's happened to her.
Get her on the show.
I'd love to get on the show. Well, Zach used to, because I was at the 2012 Dallas show, and Zach and he was with Nutrex then, and Zach and Larissa were on the stand, and they seemed to get on really well. They seem to be really good friends. So
something when you start something, you got to finish it. So Ronnie Coleman, we back to the story. What are we going to do with Ronnie Coleman?
Yes, we're going to do a weekly show, a weekly podcast. Because when you come over every couple of weeks, you're going to stay an extra day. We're going to film enough for 4 episodes. So you're going to do that all in one day, blast it out, and then we're going to chop it up, put video footage in, and we're going to make...
But it's going to be completely different from this because it's going to be more focused on Ronnie Coleman. Yeah, it's not about us. It's about Ronnie.
No. And also, it's going to be... We're going to discuss... It's going to be kind of like our intro, but we're going to have bodybuilding topics, yes, whatever's current at the time, but we're also going to talk about non-bodybuilding topics.
With Ronnie?
Yeah, with Ronnie.
Yeah.
So, because otherwise you're going to run out of steam after 20 episodes, aren't you? You're going to run out of ideas.
It will be 2020, make bodybuilding great again. It will be Giles Tiger writing articles for MD.
Yep, I am. I do.
Then AJ and Giles will be going to the Olympia and Arnold Classics. Mm-hmm. Covering shows. Mm-hmm. Ron Harris just got a new microphone.
Yes, he did.
So MD video quality is going to be through the roof.
Global Muscle Pro Tours every 2 months.
Global Muscle Show is peaking.
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
Global Muscle Tours. We're going to get the guys to the UK, to Germany, to Afghanistan, to Somalia, to Sri Lanka, to Mogadishu, wherever.
I wasn't planning on... Okay.
We try it.
We'll try it.
We have the gym tours with the legends. We're going to discuss it today, actually get the contract signed.
Yes.
Then we're gonna have the Ronnie Coleman show with Giles, AJ, and Ronnie. Ain't nothing but Peanut.
Ronnie Coleman.
But
show,
we're
yeah.
not stop. It won't stop. Can't stop. What's the other one?
Do you want to talk about it? Or are we allowed to talk about it?
Amazon. Chris, are you listening? We're gonna have Amazon Prime
He's shaking his head. He's not doing
on
it.
Pump Media.
Yep.
That's Pump Media. That's Chris. For once,
On the rise.
Chris, please, can't you just come in the camera for one time?
Really?
People,
You want me on the camera?
people haven't. Chris, come on, one time.
AJ.
People want to see the Pump Media guy. And
Go on.
And by the way, he might have a new magazine coming out.
Oh.
Is that might be a magazine?
Just a rumor. Just an ugly rumor.
So this is Chris. This is the guy behind everything.
This is different.
This is different. Chris.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
this
Mike,
is
Chris.
This is
Do you want-
Chris.
do you want my
Get
mic?
it- oh,
Do you
he's
want
getting my Pump Media mic as well. So what's the idea for Amazon Prime?
Essentially, Amazon Prime is a worldwide channel, as everybody knows. It's like the Amazon version of Netflix. We're going to be putting some summer productions on there. We're going to do a gym tour all the way up from Scotland, all the way down to London, Wales, and maybe Northern Ireland, featuring some of the best UK hardcore bodybuilding gyms. That will be released hopefully September time. Once it's completed.
With Olympia, so get more smart, yeah.
On top of that, we've got potential projects with you guys that could go on there as well. Potential projects. There's all kinds of weird and wonderful ideas that
All kinds of games.
that are popping into my head. Also, a lot of the UK amateur level shows will be featured on Amazon Prime. The big shows rather than the qualifiers.
You've done really well in the last year. You've really you're picking up steam fast.
Things are happening and it's
it's
going
good.
in the right direction. And
You need to clone yourself, mate.
hey,
You need to clone yourself. Oh, there's one there.
we've got another Chris. Yeah, his name's
A little
Shane.
bit taller,
We
but
took him out the fridge earlier on and just.
a little bit taller.
We're working on that, AJ. We're working on it.
It's
not
not
hard.
him.
It's not hard.
Shaving his feet as we speak.
Yeah, do the stretching like here Pierre Arnold did, but we got to stretch you then and get you taller.
Yeah, stretch me,
Yeah.
and also literally in the last week, a magazine, not to compete with one of the best magazines, if not the best magazine in the world, Muscular Development, but something that covers the amateur level bodybuilding within...
Before you go back
UK.
into the darkness, I would say he has a great idea that I never heard about. In the magazine he'll make.
Oh, do you want to tell?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, go on and go.
Is that he's got to put in something,
It's called a QR code.
whatever that is, and you put your telephone onto the picture to the magazine,
Correct.
and then you get the video on your phone.
Yeah.
What amazing idea!
It makes a two-dimensional... a one-dimensional magazine, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, whatever you want to call it, to enable you to, like if we do a feature on you guys and what you guys are doing over with Muscular Development, or if we do a feature on a show that we've covered or a feature on an athlete,
You can put it in the magazine.
We would tend to film that as well, so it would tick both boxes.
Yep.
Essentially. So that's the plan.
Brings two media forms together as one.
So hopefully we're gonna make a discussion show on Pump Media with me and Giles.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about
also on the Global Muscle Pro Tours. We're going to be doing behind the scenes footage and downloadable DVDs
Where
and
we can-
films, documentaries.
yeah, you can download it. Would that be on Amazon Prime? It's not. Everything's not written in stone yet, as they say. Would that be like How would you go to Pump Media and then download it, or what's the idea?
No,
there?
you literally just go to Amazon Prime, find the link. I mean, we'd publish the links to advertise them anyway.
Yeah.
And then you'd click on that link. That would open up Amazon Prime, and you can watch it from there.
Cool.
Straightforward.
Cool.
Yeah, straightforward.
Yeah.
I'm going to disappear now because this is not my fault.
I know.
Come on.
Well, thank you
Giles,
for having
it's
me
not
on.
often you.
And a big shout out, by the way, to Giles and AJ for utilising the Pump Media services here in the UK,
Doing a good job, mate.
putting us on the
You're
map.
doing a good job.
Appreciate it. So thanks.
When we met Chris, he was a nobody, and now he has extra helpers.
See, he came in yesterday and he was like Mr. T, all draped in gold and jewels.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, guys, look at the help.
And he also has did you know Chris the midget, as we say, has one time interviewed Phil Heath and John Dobson and got over 50,000 views on Facebook, wasn't it? Wasn't it 50,000 views?
It was a lot of views, yeah.
Yeah.
50,000 Chris interviewing Phil Heath.
Good.
It's a good one.
Yep.
How long we went now,
Well,
Shane?
we need to wrap up because we're on our first guest on.
Shane? Okay, we wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Yep. Okay then.
Before we go, this is the Miss Olympia show.
Yes.
Well, we was so much to talk about, so who knows what we're going to call it. Who's your Mr. Olympia 1 and 2?
Brandon Curry and Rolly Winkler.
Mine's Phil Heath and Brandon Curry. There you go.
Oh, no, can't say Phil Heath. Can't say Phil Heath because we don't know.
I think he's going to do it.
I think he's going to do it.
I think he's going to do it.
I think he's going to
I think he's going to do it.
I think he's going to win.
I talk to him every day about it.
I think.
And I send him pictures of Sean Roldan, how he looks, and we laugh, and then he's going to do it.
1 and 2 will be Brandon and Phil if that happens.
If Phil doesn't do it, it'll be Brandon and Rolly Winkler.
Yeah.
Roldan out of the top 4.
Yeah, I think so.
There you go.
I think he's one and done. Okay, on that bombshell, we're gonna wrap up this intro, and we'll be right back after the break with our first guest. Who will it be?
The legend, Bob Cicherillo.
Ask the chick, and we are out. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Meter Studios, joined by my co-host, AJ, all the way from Norway. And we're joined once again by...
Bob Cicherillo.
Bob Cicherillo, yeah.
People were so happy about you last episode, so we want to have you on soon, and we got you 2 episodes later.
Yes.
Oh, man. Hercules. What do you got? You got anything good for me today?
Yeah, good.
So...
Also, Bob, do you like my medal?
Oh, very nice. You won.
I actually won the Miss Olympia.
Yeah, you did a sex change. And,
Yeah, it's a bit of a random thing.
Okay, so we have questions. We have 5 questions for Bob Cicherillo. We have 5 questions from the Muscle Development Forums.
Yep.
All right, sir.
So, you can start.
Okay.
Are these
give me
the most pressing questions on the fans' minds?
These are the most, yeah.
Hang on a minute. Which one do you want me to ask? There's a couple I'm not asking.
I'll ask some of them, and you ask another one.
What were your first thoughts when Levrone pulled off his tracksuit at the 2016 Olympia press conference?
My first impression. Well, I mean, we all saw regular updates. As Kevin was getting ready. There was 2 thoughts. One was, man, I mean, for a 50, whatever he was at the time, 1-year-old guy, or 52, I mean, that's pretty damn impressive. There's nobody on this earth that could have pulled that off other than Levrone. If you know him, and I have for 25 years, he's a miracle. I mean, this guy's got genetics like nobody else. The second thought was he ain't going to do shit in this Olympia.
Okay.
So, like I said, you got to give him full credit because, I mean, that's not an easy task. I mean, you're talking about getting on the Olympic. Listen, he could have walked into a regular open show somewhere and probably looked pretty damn decent. Mm-hmm. But, he wanted to do the Olympia and all that, and that was cool. I had no issue with the special invite type thing, as that's been a hot topic lately, of course, with the Kai Green talk and all that. Those are special circumstances. He's absolutely deserving of that type of an invite. I have no problem with that. When you're talking about somebody current, like a Kai Green or somebody like that, no, fuck him. Listen, go qualify like everybody else. That's my thought process on that. But listen, hats off to Kevin for everything he achieved. But to expect that he was going to do anything at the Olympia, like, the Dave Palombos of the world who came out and thought he was going to win the damn thing. I mean, listen, you clearly don't know what you're looking at, or you're just,
it was a publicity stunt.
Just to put it out there.
Yeah,
that's a publicity stunt.
By the way, speaking of my buddy Dave, I did see he put some stuff out after our last show where, he was calling me out for, saying that Kai didn't get a special invite when actually Jim Mannion told him to give him a call and this and that. So all you reiterated, Dave, was I was correct. Okay, he was not given a special invite. He was not given a special invite by the Olympia, by the IFBB Pro League, or by Jim Mannion. Jim Mannion saying, "Yeah, give me a call and we'll talk about it," is not a special invite. Okay,
right. It's not official.
Once again, I was correct.
It must be awful, Bob.
It's terrible. It's it is.
Fabian Gimfood wants to know, what's your do you think it was fair to remove women's bodybuilding from the Olympia? And now that Wings of Strength is covering the show, it's a hot topic. What's your opinion about this?
Well, you have to look at things objectively. As everybody knows, I put out stuff years ago that was not very much in support of the women's bodybuilding division. And if you look across the board, listen, the numbers were in such decline at the time. Now they're pretty much non-existent. That it didn't really favor leaving it in. The amount of feedback we would get, the amount of people who did not like it, who did not support it, sponsors and such, and all that dictated that the ends always have to justify the means. At the end of the day, this is a business, and it's a business. Listen, not everybody deserves a platform, and we get that in this day and age, especially in this day and age where it's fourth grade t-ball. Everybody gets a crack at the ball, and it's like, well, look, that's not the way it works in the real world, and not in the business world. All right, it's got to have a return, and the return was not only zero, but it was negative. So. Was I in support of taking it out of the Olympia? Listen, the Arnold took it out. The Olympia took it out. Even women's physique, which we instituted not long after, even that gets a good amount of flack. And that's nowhere near what women's bodybuilding is. So,
what do you say? Get flack. What does that mean? When you say they get a lot of flack, what does that mean?
A lot of non-support. A lot of people saying, why is it in there? Why are we looking at these, women? Listen, the minute you put in male hormones into the equation, it changes everything. And that's the problem, is it's hard to justify such a thing. We're not here to discuss, in the, drug usage in sports and all that. I'm all for live and let live. Let people do whatever they want to do. You're adults. You can make your own decisions. You're athletes. You're pro athletes. But you still have to have a market to appeal to. And the market for female bodybuilding is almost non-existent. That's just the facts. I didn't bring that up to the table. That's just the way it is.
Giles?
Okay, sorry. Who are the smartest pro bodybuilders you have met? There is actually another part of this question, but I don't feel I really want to ask that. But okay. it's the opposite of smartest, basically, and I don't think it's really fair to name names unless you want to. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, who are the smartest pro bodybuilders you've met that have, the question's open to interpretation.
Well, I mean, when you talk about the smartest pro bodybuilder, obviously Arnold tops the list. I mean, obviously you can't dispute that. While there are some people who would prefer to drop kick him in the back unexpectedly, not the coolest thing I've ever seen. But I hope that kid completely got his ass handed to him afterwards by security. But
I'll be honest,
anyway,
Bob. I'll be honest, Bob. When I saw that, I mean, I don't think violence is cool, and I don't really. But I hope that kid got taken out and back and given a proper kicking.
Yeah, I mean
that was awful, and from the behind.
The smartest pro, I mean, certainly Arnold. You got to look at the smartest. If you're talking about businessmen, okay, which is what we will consider. I guess that's the question. I mean, you got to look at the Jay Cutlers, the Ronnie Colemans, Rich Gasperi. Even though he was never a pro, Gerard Dente. These are people who put together, full multi-million-dollar businesses. And then you've got a whole other section of people that may not possibly be multimillionaires in their own respect, but people like the Sean Rays of the world who have made a career. Yeah. Listen, even though I give him a good amount of flack, the Dave Palombos of the world. Listen, Dave's no dummy. I mean, he's a very smart guy when it comes to certain things. And he's made a career and a business out of never being a pro, not having the most aesthetically pleasing physique I've ever seen, to put it lightly. But he's a smart guy. He has made this his business. And then, of course, I mean, nobody is smarter on this earth out of all those names I mentioned than Jim Mannion. And I bring that up because Jim is a bodybuilder, was a bodybuilder, competed as a bodybuilder, started as a bodybuilder, and has made a multi-million-dollar business in the NPC and the IFBB Pro League. So I put Jim right up there with Arnold, believe it or not. Listen, Arnold, made a great career out of being a great actor and, using his tools and his talents and his penchant for the camera. Joe Weider, for that matter. I mean, obviously, so I guess if we're putting names out there, those would be my top three. I'm guessing would be, in no particular order, was Arnold, Jim Mannion, and Joe Weider.
Do you know of any bodybuilders that have gone on to do very smart things outside of the industry after being a bodybuilder? Because like you're saying, Gaspari, Lita Brada, these kinds of guys, Ronnie Coleman, they've all gone on to start supplement companies, do shows, all different things. What about people outside that have gone on to do things outside of the bodybuilding industry specifically?
Well, there's plenty. I mean, my good friend Tom Prince, who's been, retired for some years now, everybody knows, him and his wife launched a very successful realty business. Property real estate and all that kind of, commercial property real estate and, apartment buildings, that type of thing. He's one example of many, but most of the guys that I know, Jay Cutler is certainly up there on the list of guys who have had their hands in other things. Old buddy of mine, Troy Zucolato.
Really? Troy, yeah.
He's doing a lot of good things.
In the 80s, and then in the 90s, he went to the WBF. And, Gary Stridham. I mean, these guys took their money that they made. Yeah. Listen, look, they got a lot of blowback at the time about joining the WBF, taking the money, this and that. Listen, they took that money and they ran. Troy Zucolato's a multi-millionaire.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, look up his stuff sometime. He's got another new Lamborghini.
What's he done? What's he done? Property or
property? Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, tanning salons.
I had no idea.
Troy built his fortune in HRT places. He kind of got in at the onset before it was fashionable. He was putting together those type of places, and now him and his daughters have launched a very successful wine company.
Oh wow!
Called Shardy Party is the name of the wine. He's been hugely successful, but I mean, I could think of multiple. I mean, Lila Brada. I mean, you go right down the line of people. Most of their money has been made. Jay Cutler has been made a lot of money in real estate.
Yeah.
I know he had his hand in a marijuana farm, actually.
Okay.
Out that way that he got into it purely as an investment.
Yeah.
And I think he just sold it off. And it's, obviously over the last 4 or 5 years, it's become very profitable being that business. It's been legalized now a lot in the States and all that. So there's too many to even mention. But most of the bodybuilders I know that are good businessmen have done not only in bodybuilding, but in just regular business.
Yeah.
Howard wants to know. Howard, yeah. Oh, you know Howard, eh?
You know Howard, used to compete.
That's my boy.
Yeah. What can be done to increase ticket sales and media coverage of IBB Pro contests, in your opinion?
I've been saying this for as long as I've had a voice in this sport. We have to make things more interesting. We have to make things more fun, more entertaining. Entertainment's the key. The problem with bodybuilding inherently has always been that people have an indifference. All right, they don't care enough either way. When you watch pro wrestling, all right, who I've always looked at as complete genius material, okay, from not Vince McMahon and his father before him who started it. Vince took it to a whole new level of entertainment. Is there anything inherently entertaining about a drop kick? Well, not really. A pile driver. Again, pick a wrestling move, that type of thing. I had a conversation with Hulk Hogan years ago at Gold's Gym, Venice, and we were talking biz. And I says, what can we do, to increase the entertainment in bodybuilding? And he looked at me point blank and he said, brother, he actually said that. He says, when you can get the personalities as big as the physiques, now you got something. He says, I learned early in my career, it wasn't the leg drop that got me attention. People seen that a million times. It was the hand to the ear. It was the play into the crowd. It was the big eyes, and the point and the and all that stuff. That's what made it entertaining. That's what we need to bring, not in the theatrical way of we need, setups and bullshit and stuff like that. The WBF proved that wasn't ever going to work, all right? There's a fine line there, but the more entertaining we make it, the more you will drive ticket sales. You need personalities in the sport. The biggest personalities, listen, people are still crying for Kai Green to get on stage. He hasn't been on stage in 3-4 years now.
Who's the biggest personality right now, in your opinion, currently active?
There's some good personalities. They just need to be brought out more. Nathan Diasha, I love. Great personality. Again, not afraid to put stuff out there. Luke Sandow is a little more quiet and reserved, but he's got a very sly way of kind of putting things out there. Some of these guys have got great personalities that you can take and you can use to our advantage to drive ticket sales. Dexter's a great personality, but it has to be encapsulated. As you guys see, it's like pulling teeth every year at the press conference, to get these guys to kind of loosen up. We had some great fights over the years with some of the big personalities that we've had. The Melvin Anthonys, the Quincy Taylors, Quincy versus Silvio Samuel, calling him an ankle biter and that kind of things. Melvin impersonating everybody. Again, we've had some phenomenal things when these guys, Phil versus Kai. Let's face it. Come on. That was some good stuff. But if we could take it to the next level, I think we could double ticket sales.
And the way to take it to the next level, Bob, it's to do like WWE is doing with the IPB Pro Network.
Well, exactly. You got to take the personalities. You got to put them first.
No, like we need a TV internet subscription for bodybuilding.
Oh, listen, there's no question that, but you need content. I mean, you can't, listen,
Correct.
somebody throwing a double bicep is not terribly entertaining, even for those of us in the bodybuilding game. The most exciting part to any bodybuilding show, everybody will agree, okay, is the pose down. Now, why is that the most entertaining part? Because that's the only time you get interaction between the guys. The only time. Other than that, you're out there on your own. Then you get compared. Okay, well, everybody getting a front lat spread is not exactly, going to tear the roof off, okay? I mean, we can appreciate the good physiques, and we're all bodybuilding fans. But you need interaction. You need people to be out there doing something. I would open this stuff wide open. And the good thing is my good buddy Dan Solomon, who's now in charge of the Olympia, is very receptive to making some of these changes. Some of them we've made this year.
We should get Dan
some
on.
of them you'll see on stage this year, some of the changes we've made.
Good.
But I would like to open things up to more where it's less rigid, less stuffed shirtish. And then, we get that this is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, but we can still have some fun. And I think the more loose it is, I think the more fun that we have, makes it more entertaining, makes people want to come back.
Bob?
Yes.
Hi. do politics play a role in bodybuilding judging?
Oh.
Oh, by the way, Phil Heath's been messaging you.
Is that from Phil Heath?
Yeah, no, he's no. Oh no, that's one of the top 10 classic moments of bodybuilding, of global muscle.
Oh yeah. What's that?
Well, you said it was from Phil. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a question.
Oh no.
So, Mr. P. Heath, no.
No.
I mean,
do politics play a role? I mean, listen, there have been instances where politics have played a role. I think in a lot of those, I think we're way in the old days. Listen, certainly, and it's not, everybody wants to point at the same thing. Arnold winning the 80 Olympia. Listen, that wasn't politics. It wasn't Arnold at his best, but he still beat the rest of those guys out there. Even at 90%, he was better than those guys.
What about Franco?
No, Franco in 81 was politics.
There you go. That's what on. Yeah.
Listen, there's not a chance on this earth that he wins that show. Danny Padilla rightfully should have won that. The Giant Killer.
he was fifth.
Easy.
So Arnold rigged the event, correct?
Well, when you say rigged, I mean, it's hard to rig a show. It's very hard to rig a show. You've
Padilla
got
was
multiple
fifth.
judges. We throw out highs and lows, this and that. Listen, I'm the first one to bitch about placings. I don't agree with all the placings all the time, but neither does Jim Mannion. I sat there right with Jim when he sat there and go, I had it the other way. Now, it's clearly, this is the president of the federation. Could he stick his nose in there? He could, but he doesn't. He lets his judges do their job. Most of the time, it's people just bitching because they can't separate themselves personally from their physique. All right. So when you say it's politics, it's like, well, look, it was supposed to be politics back when only a leader athlete could win. And then Jay went to MD and he won. And then all of a sudden that wasn't politics anymore. And it was supposed to be politics when Lee Haney before that went to Twin Lab.
That's right.
Which was unheard of. That again, he wasn't going to be with Weider, it was a different company, and then he won the Olympia. It was politics when, the sponsoring company, Muscle Tech. Well, a Muscle Tech athlete's going to win. And then they went to another company, and then they won under that company. So it's a revolving effort. Listen, it's easy to blame shit on politics when it doesn't go your way. But I've never heard anybody complain about politics when they've won.
Yeah. Have you ever tried judging, Bob? Have you ever tried judging?
I judged. I did a few years ago, but good God, man! First of all, it doesn't pay for nothing. When I hung them up, I mean, the first one in my ear was Jim Mannion saying, chick, let's get a blue blazer on you. You make a great judge, And I'm like, I got to be. You can't duct tape me to that seat. That is a. Listen, that's a job. That's a labor of love.
Yeah.
That's a job you got to love, and you've got to take pride in it. And that's what you want to do.
Hard.
Listen, these judges make nothing for money. They make a few $100s, okay? That's not worth, me going out there, taking up my entire weekend, going someplace,
Yeah.
having the scrutiny and the bullseye on your back and all that. God bless the judges. It's a hard job to do. If you got an eye for it, it's very good. Like Tyler Mannion's been in the news recently, where he was just appointed as the vice president of the company and all that, which I think is a great move. Tyler's a great young talent, but it was clear from the start he had a good eye for bodybuilding. And some people do and some people don't. Some of the worst eyes in the world are ex-competitors. I've seen some bad calls, boy, from ex-competitors after an Olympia or show where they're like, I don't agree with this or I don't agree with that. And it's like, man, what are you looking at? Like, seriously, what show, listen, not everybody makes a great judge, just as not every great player makes a good coach, like a Larry Bird or Magic Johnson or somebody that was great at the sport as a player, but they weren't a very good coach. Sometimes it's not for everybody, but
I had a newfound respect for judging. When I used to do show reports for magazines, I had a newfound respect for judging when I actually tried it. I tried a few small shows, independent shows, different federations, and it made me a completely different reporter doing show reports and stuff like that. Because honestly, until you're in that chair, you get someone who'll say, "Oh, that 4th and 5th should have been the other way around. It was disgraceful." But what about 1 through 10? And you've only got so many minutes, and you've got to write everything. And you've got to have a system. I tell you, it's so hard. Once I did it, it gave me so much respect for judges.
That's true, Giles. And you got to look at the perspective, okay, from who it's at. I think I mentioned this before, even on this show. I wrote an article called Vantage Point years ago in one of the magazines. I don't know if it was Flex or Muscular Development or somewhere, but and it was about the vantage point of 5-6 different people. Everybody's got a different vantage point. Listen, the girlfriend, the wife, is going to have a different perspective as they watched their guy go through 12 weeks of hell and all that.
That never goes well.
Listen, my mother still thinks I should have won every show I've ever been in. Okay, the trainer guy, who he's making money on this guy, so of course he thinks he should have won. Yeah. The guy who identifies more with whatever their physique was. If you were a guy that was built on conditioning, then you tend to go with conditioning. If you're a guy built on the more of the pretty aesthetic physique, like a Flex Wheeler physique type of thing, then you tend to go that way. The only perspective that matters is when you're at that judging table, and it's a different look. And I know the guys online like to rib us on this one and all that, but everybody knows this, and we proved it a couple years ago with our good friend Big Mike Cox, who we invited to the show, and put him in the front row. And guess what? He had a whole different perspective, and he actually, and I applaud him for this. He says, you know what? They're right. It is different when you're up in the front. When you're 15 feet away in the best seat in the house with the lighting and the angles, watching the transitions, watching the poses, all right, seeing all that, it's a different show than when you're in the 20th row, the 40th row, off to the side, watching online, looking at pictures after the show, which is the worst way to look at any kind of a competition because it captures a moment in time. Anybody can find a picture that they look better than the other guy if you look hard enough.
Do you want to give one final question and then we'll wrap up?
That's it. Final question. No. That's all that?
we got 2 final questions.
Okay.
One is the 2018 and 17 Olympia. 2018 Olympia, we had a disaster on Friday with the streaming. What will happen? Can you make sure this will never happen? Because some people in Norway, Muscle Brownie is watching. He almost took suicide on Friday when the screen blacked out. It was horror. What can we do that this won't happen again? And also, since there's so many problems with getting visas to America lately, you think there ever will be like a Olympia in Europe in the future at all, or like a big Arnold Classic Europe, like a huge European show that everybody can come, Hadi can compete, and fans who can't go to America, Russian athletes can compete? You think it will in the future? Those 2 last questions.
Well, I'll take the second question first. It's you got your pluses and minuses to putting it in Europe or anywhere else as much as you have here. A lot of the athletes, even if they're from other countries, live and reside in the U.S. So a lot of them, they might be from wherever, Poland, Russia, just pick a country, but a lot of them are here. But it's very difficult to put it anywhere and get 100% approval because if you put it in Europe, well, then everybody from here's got to go over there. That's a bigger cost to the promoter, bigger cost to the Olympia. Shipping everybody over there is far more costly than shipping them over here. And then you've got, there's food problems and issues. There's, again, there's a lot of issues. So right now, I would say, I don't rule it out, but I don't think the Olympia is going anywhere ever, anytime soon. The first question, listen, I have been a very big proponent against the webcast for years, not in terms of not having it, but the way it's been produced. And this is some conversation we've had recently. I've always, instead of shelving this thing out to a different company to screw it up, which they do every time, okay? And I'm not talking about just the stream itself. I'm talking about
the angle. We don't see it. We don't see any comparisons, Bob. It's a disaster.
I have made these recommendations for this year. Now, let's hopefully we can get these in. Again, Dan Solomon's very receptive to making these changes, as is Tamer El-Gindi, a good friend of mine who's going to be producing it this year. I recommend, first and foremost, get rid of that stupid swing arm that they have off to the left of the stage that blocks people's view, that gives this, it's a huge, cumbersome, I'm sure there's some name for it. But it's that big crane-looking thing with the camera at the end that swings around it. Listen, these angles are horrible, okay? They're not good for bodybuilding. They're not good for anything. And it's like, this is the easiest production in the world. Pan back enough that you can see almost everybody in the lineup, okay? Don't ever pan in individually on anybody, because we all want to see the comparisons.
Correct.
That's bodybuilding. It's like, look, you don't have to be, Steven Spielberg to produce this thing. It's like, look at pan back where you can pan left or right and get everybody in the photo. Be it 3 guys and 4 guys, 4 guys and 3 guys, whatever that is. When the top 6 get called out, I want to see the top 6 compared. That's it. Don't focus. Don't zoom in. Don't pan up from the legs up and all this bullshit. That's all you got to do. And every bodybuilding fan on this earth will be happy because they can see the comparisons. That's what bodybuilding's all about. So I've made these recommendations. We'll see if they go through this year. But I would definitely get rid of the crane and get rid of the photos from behind the guys when they're hitting the back double by. Again, it's useless.
Bob, I've got a message here from Chris Clark from Pump Media. It says, we can do streaming. Yeah, Pump Media. Me and AJ will do everything. We'll just take care of everything. Just give us a contract and we'll do it for you.
But why does this have to be like why? But this is a given. That every year it's the same thing. Why do we have to take it to? So this should be obvious. The cameraman has to know bodybuilding, unless you don't know how to film it.
First of all, when we did streaming years ago with Travis Chapman and his company. They did a great job because we worked together for years. So they knew what to shoot. They knew what to do. When we would shoot the Arnold, the Olympia, again, whatever it was, on bodybuilding.com. What you need somebody who's there, consistently. So they know that they need to know the sport. And we need to stop putting this thing out to bid. Like last year was a different company. Look at, why are we doing this? Why isn't this thing, why can't I go to MrOlympia.com and watch the Olympia?
Correct.
Right? That is what, again, now, is there a way to monetize that? Of course there is. And you don't have to kill the world with it. You can put out some nominal fee. It's $5, $10, again, whatever that is. You know what I mean? And work off of numbers. I mean, I know we don't get big enough numbers. And, you guys saw this debate years ago when I was killing these people online because they don't understand the business behind it. I don't understand. Of course, all these masterminds are coming out. Well, I could do it. It's like, look, you don't understand. We're not a network. We're not a mainstream sport. That's why we don't have mainstream money. Okay. Now that said, Dan just did make a couple of announcements. If nobody caught him, that was in New York the other day.
We're gonna have Don on after you, Bob.
You got Dan coming on?
Yeah. So maybe he wants to announce it first.
So he can make the big announcements. We've made some changes already. So hats off to Dan Solomon and being receptive. And I think you guys are going to enjoy some of the changes that you're going to hear. And I think it's very good for the sport and moving forwards. And like I said, all I can do is present ideas, and where they go from there, I'm all for entertainment, man. I'm all for more WWE style. Like I say, bump this thing up. Let's have some fun. Let's loosen it up a little bit, but let's give the fans what they want. Yeah. And let's go from there.
Well, thanks to Bob, because we have another guy on. Bob, athlete representative for the last 20 years, always giving his opinions. That's why we want to have him on, and we love having you on, Bob, and hope we can get you on in the future real soon.
Really appreciate it.
Like I hope we can answer, at least a few of the questions. But if they want to keep the questions coming, I'll try to get to as many. I'll pop online. I've been a little busy here lately getting stuff done, but I assume you guys got a thread on there with questions and such.
Yes.
I'll see if I can find a few minutes later. I'll get to some of the questions I didn't get to here.
Fantastic. That will be good.
Well, because what's going to happen. They're going to sit there and either you guys are going to get the shit saying, well, you just didn't want to ask them, or I didn't want to answer. And it's like, look, we only got so much time.
I know.
But I'll be more than happy to go on there and answer some of those things that people think are provocative or we don't want to answer, or, somehow I get a paycheck from the Federation, which I'm still waiting for. Any of the vast conspiracies that go on. But I'll try to get to some tonight. So if anybody's got any further questions when they see this, put them out there, guys. I'll get to as many as I can.
Good. And finally, before you go, when's the big show in this summer? Where in June is it?
Oh, bro. Listen, June 30th. If you are in the UK area, you have got to come out. The British Grand Prix going on. All the information is at our website at the 2bpevents.com. That's 2 Bros Pro. So you can Google it, whatever, but all the information's out there. Bro, we've got a stellar lineup. We've already got, you talk about talking some smack.
Yeah.
We've already got the guys, the Nathan Diashes, the Luke Sandows. We got James Hollingshead now. He's in the mix. Samson Dauda.
Yeah.
These guys are all going to be battling, man. And I tell you what, you're going to get an influx of guys from the U.S. as well, who think that the Americans are much better than the Brits. So we've got, I see a little USA versus going on here for top honors. But
good.
We have got a customized belt that we are having made as we speak, that we will present to the winner of the British Grand Prix. First time this is getting back in some years. So it's all coming, but, get out there, guys, get your ticket. This thing will be a sellout event, I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob, really appreciate you coming on, mate.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll get you on again soon. Love your honesty, mate. We always appreciate the frankness because it's so important to make things better, isn't it?
Last, what female class do Bob like the most? Which female class does Bob like the most?
What are you, joking? Bikini.
There you go.
Well, yeah, because he thought of it.
He created it.
Yeah. I love your own creations.
I mean, listen, I love them all. I mean, they're all built nice. I mean, they're all, The interesting thing is when you're watching Bikini, as most of the guy fans out there will know, is I'm always picking the ones in the last call out.
I do.
Yeah, as I'm looking, I'm going, all right, man, who do I want to be? Like, who do I want to be with? Who do I want to date? It's always the chick. They're always in the last call out, man. I'm like, all right, well, there's something to be said for. That said, we have given that notion. We have obviously instilled the wellness division as we talked about last time, Giles. So I think that maybe that's the transition. That's the key because I'm picking all those chicks.
Okay.
All of them. Okay. All right, then, Bob. Okay, we'll speak to you soon, and thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, brothers. We'll see you.
Cheers, Bob. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Right. Fantastic.
We got to go straight into our guest.
Fantastic. Yeah, going to go straight into our next guest momentarily. So
Bob always giving the answers direct.
Yeah. I think
he's not holding nothing back, and that's why we want him on.
Yes, absolutely goes all in. Okay, then big thank you there to Bob Chick, and we'll be right back after the ad break with our next guest on Global Muscle Radio. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Meter Studios, joined by AJ, my co-host, all the way from Norway. And we have a very special guest this episode, Dan Sullivan. Yeah!
Yeah, I'll tell you what the rest of the world cannot see right now is the angle that I think I'm seeing, and that's all the inner workings of this world-class studio. And, I've been around this game for a long time, and I don't know that I've ever seen anything of this production quality in terms of the scope of what you guys are doing. I mean, there's multiple cameras back there. There's hard drives and monitors. You got this fancy table, and you guys are wearing jackets. When Bob Cicherillo and I used to do Pro Bodybuilding Weekly, we would show up in our pajamas, and it was nowhere near what you guys have. So really, congrats! You guys are doing a great job.
Well, thank you, Dan.
It means a lot.
In the intro, because we do like an intro, just myself and AJ at the start, and we actually alluded to Pro Bodybuilding Weekly because these kinds of shows are kind of like it's something that's evolved from the shows that you and yourself actually started, because we literally just had Bob Chick on before you, so it's nice to have you two on.
Why didn't you have Bob on before me? Why didn't you have Bob? Oh, I get it. Bob was the opening act.
Yes.
Yes.
I get it. Okay, good.
He was our performing monkey. No, we love it. Bob was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, I think Bob is one of the more underrated talents when you consider, and I know this because for a dozen or so years, Bob and I side by side have co-hosted things, whether it's Olympia or Arnold Classic webcasts or Pro Bodybuilding Weekly or whatever it was. And, Bob, it's one thing to ask questions, and that's what I've always done. I was always the guy who would ask the questions and would kind of set the table. But to be able to sort of take a softball and hit it out of the park as often as Bob is able to do.
Yeah.
He's very quick. He has tremendous aptitude when it comes to being an analyst and sort of providing that sort of companion commentary. He's exceptional at it. And I've always said a lot of people, they bust Bob's chops about this or that or what he wears on stage at the Olympia. And we love talking about that stuff. But when it comes to the pure skill of what it takes to be an MC or a host, I don't think there's anybody who does it better than Bob. I really don't.
Could you imagine the press?
And by the way, you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
I got to be careful who I'm talking to, right?
No.
But I think Bob does a good job.
Yeah. Could you imagine the press conference without Bob, the Olympia press conference? Because I certainly couldn't.
Yeah, he's such a big part of the Olympia experience because he brings some street cred. He's been on that stage. He's competed at the Olympia. He's got great relationships with most of the athletes. But, I was watching you guys do a show a week or two back. I was watching, you had somebody on and somebody told me to watch. Maybe it was a Jay. It was a Jay interview.
Jay Cutler, yeah, that was our last week.
Yeah, and I remember you guys were talking about was it your 10th or your 20th show, or it was like a landmark show, right? And I remembered that brought back some real memories because Bob and I, we did our show from June of 2005 until whenever. We did like 400 shows, but I remember.
Wow.
But we also did a weekly. It was a radio format. So what you guys are doing is more production oriented. There's more cost involved. What you have to have a wardrobe for what you guys do. So how often can you really do it, right?
This is actually, sorry Dan, this is actually my Olympia suit. I bought this for when my partner Rosie did the Olympia in 2016. So I thought I think I better get this dry cleaned and wear my 2016 Olympia suit. So as soon as it's a bit of an Olympia episode, this one.
Well, you guys look great, but I'll tell you that it's one of the things that I remembered back when you were talking about that milestone show. Bob and I that was such an exciting time because, you're like we were. We cared so deeply about providing the best possible experience for the audience and booking that great guest. I'll never forget the time Peter McGuff called me up. It was like the fall of 2006, and he calls me up and he says, Dan, I have great news. Of course, he did it in his classic Peter McGuff raspy voice. Yeah. And he informs me that if I'm at my studio in an hour, he has Arnold Schwarzenegger ready to do our show.
Oh.
This was back before, it was commonplace to do that. Now he appears in a lot of things, and it's not as hard to get to Arnold. But back then, I think he might have even been governor at the time.
He was in 2006.
It was such a complicated thing to get him, but and how much it meant to us. So when you guys were sort of waxing nostalgic last time, I was thinking about what that was like, and I do miss that. That was a fun thing to do.
Wow.
I've seen you from afar for many years now. I've watched you. I'm from Norway. So I watched you since I was probably like 16 years old, and it's an honor finally speaking to you. Can you tell the people at home, where did your love for bodybuilding start? And because we want to know more about you. Yeah,
so back in the day, I was always just a big fitness bodybuilding guy. In the 90s, I was I trained and I was into it. I did a couple local NPC shows. I never did much on stage, but did some novice and just to kind of experience what it's like to go through that process. And never won anything, never came close to winning anything, but I did get to experience life as a competitor. I did 4 or 5 shows, but then in 1998, I was working for a big financial company and I was on a trip in New York City. And it just so happened that across the street from my hotel was the 1998 Mr. Olympia contest. Oh. That was the last time the Olympia was held anywhere
in New York.
But Vegas, correct. It was in New York. Yeah. And that was the last time it would be in a city other than Vegas. And I got real excited and I arranged to get myself some tickets, and I went to the show. And I remember I went there and I was rooting for Nasser El-Somebody to beat Flex Wheeler. And, nobody even was thinking about Ronnie Coleman at the time. He had finished 9th the year before. He was off the radar. And I remember showing up there and being overwhelmed about the sort of the sensory overload of being in that theater watching a production of this caliber. I had no idea what it would feel like being there, to experience sort of the visual component, the energy, the other people who shared that interest. Suddenly we were among our own, right? And it was a powerful thing to be when you spend your whole life, reading through the magazines and reading their stories and reading their workouts, and suddenly you're in the building with them at a historic night in the sport. So the night winds down, and there was some sort of a banquet after, which I somehow managed to go to, and I met the great bodybuilder Darren Charles at that.
Darren,
And Darren and I discovered quickly that we were both from generally the same neighborhood in South Florida. So we became fast friends. I hired him to be my trainer. And after a couple of years of that, he and his wife invited me to their house. His wife at the time invited me to their house. And they said, you know what? We would love for your assistance to help get Darren some endorsement contracts, help him find his way through the business of bodybuilding. And so that was what happened from there is his history. And that's fun to talk about. But that's how the whole thing started for me.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. So,
yeah.
So what? Yeah, go on.
We want to know something. What's the big announcements for this Mr. Olympia contest? Bob told me you had some big announcements.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like, well, you know what?
He said Dan's going to tell us.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. 2 seconds ago, you wanted to hear about me. I feel so cheated.
What a segue.
Never been ready to the Olympia. But no.
No, but that's also good to know because you're a fan just like us and a lot of people. You're one of us. You're not like, we don't look at you as some like the higher ups that we can't. You're a fan, so you know what the fans want. And that's why we were happy when you got your new job because we know when you're in place, it's you have the fans' best interest in heart, you know. So
well, I'll tell you what, and I appreciate you guys. I love this stuff, man. I love this sport. I love the athletes. I love the experiences that are associated with it. The cool thing about this industry, it's like its own economy, right? You know, you have people making their living in so many different ways in this industry, from hosting shows to writing to shooting video to coaching to owning gyms to training people to compete. There's just so many layers of this world. I love all of it. I think there's a great entrepreneurial spirit in this world, in this industry, that kind of allows us to continue to reinvent ourselves. Giles, I've known you for a long time. I've always been the first to praise your work. I know you do a great job. I remember when I first met you, I think we were with Steve Leckman at the time, and I remember I pulled Steve aside and I told him, you know, I think you remember that day.
It was yes, it was 2012. It was in Miami at the Masters Olympia in Florida.
Right.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
that's right.
It was. Yeah.
That was when Dexter won.
Yes, it was Dexter. And you said this guy has a skill set, Steve. You kind of pointed. Lou Ferrigno was there. Everyone was there, and I was just like going all red. And he was going. He says, "This guy, watch this guy. He's got a good skill set." And I know I really appreciate that. It was very, very kind of you.
No, you know, but you know, it's such a great thing that we're all able to kind of figure out ways to constantly reinvent ourselves. And but what I will say though is, with regards to the announcements, AJ, what you just talked about, you know, there's such what I've discovered when I took this position last year. I discovered that as much as the Olympia has meant so much to so many people over the years, it's been a part of the story for many people who have achieved great things in this industry, and people in all corners, whether you're in the media, whether you are one of the best bodybuilders in the world, whether you're a fan. The Olympia experience, it means something different to so many people. And what I was kind of a little disappointed by when I took this position, I was disappointed by the number of people that felt like they had become a little bit removed from the Olympia, a little bit disconnected from it, for reasons that, you know, it's not about, the reasons aren't always clear, but for whatever reason, there were people out there that I felt needed to be brought closer to the Olympia. So you talk about announcements, you know, one of the things we did initially was we had a meeting at the Olympia headquarters, and we started talking about people who are really key to the fan experience and all that. And then, of course, Jay Cutler's name kept coming up because Jay Cutler is such an important part of, you know, why we all love this sport, right? And I know Jay did a great job with you guys on your show last week. He did. You know, and he said, and that was an example of the kind of ambassador role that he can play. So we decided to select Jay Cutler as our 2019 honorary Olympia weekend ambassador. And, you know, Jay is enormously popular. He's got millions and millions of followers via social media and all around the world. So we are integrating Jay into the different components of the weekend. Not to mention, Jay lives in Las Vegas, which provides a real nice home field advantage for the event, to having Jay's influence and advocacy in Las Vegas as we lead up to the event. And then there was another pledge that we kind of made when we started is I really wanted to bring back a lot of the star power to the Olympia, the mainstream star power. You know, there was years when you would go to the Olympia and you'd see celebrities all over the place.
Triple H was my favorite.
What's that?
Sinbad.
I
Sinbad.
love no. Triple H was my favorite when you had Triple H heavily involved. Can't we get Triple H back and King Kamali in some type of way?
King Kamali and Triple H. I
mean,
want to put those
guys-
two together.
Those guys. Did you just say Sinbad, Giles?
Yeah, I said Sinbad.
No. I want Triple H.
Let me chime in on that. It's funny that you said Sinbad because that 1998 Olympia that I went to that night, Sinbad was the opening act on stage. He walked out and did a comedy bit.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
At the start of the 98 Olympia. Yes, that's true. And he was very funny.
Was he?
But, so
he's a
that was,
comedian.
well done, Giles. Well done. Nice segue. So then we ended up in our pursuit of trying to bring in more celebrity. We reached out to Mark Wahlberg's reps. Mark is obviously he's been such a symbol of health, fitness and healthy living for so long, and he's as popular as really anybody on the planet. And we're very happy to have his support. So we did a deal with him. He has a couple great brands, Performance Inspired, a big nutrition company that he's involved with. And we have a mutual friend, Tom Dowd, who's been very instrumental in a lot of the things that have happened in this industry. He was a leader at GNC for many years. And so anyway, so we brought these folks together. And the nice part about having Mark Wahlberg with us, you'll see in the in sort of the entertainment magazines that we have here at AMI, the Us Weeklies and OK and Life and Style and Star and all these other magazines. Now we've given them a reason to talk about the Olympia.
Right.
So having the big names a part of the event, it's more than just having famous people come to the event. It's about having creating direct pathways so that mainstream publications will cover the event and promote the event and tell people to buy tickets. So that's sort of the initial stuff. And then some of the other announcements, to AJ's question, we did go to I went to the podium at the New York Pro the other night, and I made a few announcements that I think will be interesting to a lot of the fans and a lot of the competitors. So for the first time ever, the finals for the men's physique division and the finals for the women's physique division will be on the arena stage on the first Saturday night main event.
Good.
Fantastic.
Which is cool. Right. So now, for the first time in Olympia history, all 8 Olympia Pro divisions, the finals, will be on the arena stage.
How is that going to happen, though? Because there's only so much time you've got. How is that going to work without it being a 5-hour show on stage?
Well, we brought in a great producer for the weekend, Tamer El Gindi, who's based out on the West Coast. And we're working on that. We're kind of figuring out where to put everything. And you're right, it is challenging. And that's one of the reasons why in the past it has been difficult to make that happen. But we kind of moved some things around. One change that we made to kind of shuffle the deck a little bit to open the door for this is the finals for the 212, which had always been on Saturday night, is being moved to Friday night.
Whoa.
We're doing that for a couple reasons. Okay. First reason we're doing that is because we think it gives the 212 greater distinction. We're going to end the night on Friday night with the crowning of the 212 champion.
That's
Okay.
good.
So
That's a good
instead of
idea.
having the 212 champion and the Mr. Olympia champion share that night together, we're going to end the night on Friday night with the 212 champion, and we're going to end the night, of course, on Saturday night with the Mr. Olympia champion. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it kind of makes things a little bit easier for the 212 competitors because now they have a one-day event. They don't have to hold it for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the athletes appreciate that as well. But by moving the 212 to Friday night, it does shift some things from a scheduling component as well, which enables us to pull the men's physique division into Saturday night and to do a couple other things that make it all possible. So that's one of the other changes that we're making this year. And
So there will be no 212 on Saturday night. It will be
Friday. All Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
All in one day.
Yeah. And the other thing is, the 212 is a popular division.
Yes.
And let's face it, you guys have been to the Olympia. You know that the crowd on Saturday night is always bigger than the crowd is on Friday night. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
The Saturday night, of course, is the Mr. Olympia finals. That's the big attraction. And then, so it creates a situation where, and then a lot of times on Friday night, people just want to go out and go party or go to dinner. So what we're saying to you guys out there, if you have the VIP tickets or if you're contemplating, going to different parts of the event, you better get there on Friday night if you want to see the crown of the 212 champion. So we're trying to create.
I see what you do. I was trying to work out the reasoning behind it. I was trying to work out. So you're trying to get more people to the Friday. Yeah.
That's right. There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So in the end, I think it's going to be a win for the athletes. It's going to be a win for the fans, and it's going to create, I think, more value for the Friday night ticket as well as the Saturday night ticket. So there's a lot to it, but we think it's a good fit.
What's been your favorite idea that you've implemented so far?
Okay, my favorite idea is one we haven't talked about yet, and I can't even fully take credit for this at all. Okay. Credit goes to actually our chairman at AMI, David, who's a big advocate, believe it or not, of all this. And one of the things that's really a high priority this year is raising the prize money for the women.
Really?
Okay?
Oh, the women.
Yeah, because before you go into that, I was really happy about Wings of Strength as your new sponsor, because I'm a big fan of female bodybuilding and female figure and all this. Will it be? Is there an announcement made on that? I heard something about all the female past Olympia winner will be on stage and things like that. Is this true?
So
cool.
That's something where I know. First of all, I'm glad you mentioned Wings of Strength. So Jake Wood and their team at Wings of Strength, just great people, great advocates
nice people
for female bodybuilding. I know they've been supportive to really so many people in so many different ways, myself included, the Olympia now. Yeah, they came on board as a presenting sponsor of this year's event. And of course, the minute that was announced, fans of female bodybuilding got excited because, the understanding is if Wings of Strength's a part of it, that's obviously going to signal the expansion of the footprint of women's bodybuilding at the event. So what's happening this year, we're not bringing back the Miss Olympia this year. That's not going to happen. It's too close, and logistically it would be very challenging.
Next year.
Plus Wings of Strength also promotes the Rising Phoenix, which is currently, as you know, the World Championship.
Already scheduled.
2 weeks before.
Women's
or
bodybuilding.
a week before. Yeah.
Great event, by the way. If anybody's out there and wants to see a great female-only event, that Rising Phoenix, they do a tremendous job out there in the Arizona, in the Phoenix area. But what we are doing, though, for fans of female bodybuilding is we have each day at the expo, Wings of Strength has a 1-hour presentation on the expo stage. And during one of their hour allotments, they're going to be, as you mentioned, bringing back all the great female bodybuilding champions, the Miss Olympia champions, the World Championships from the Rising Phoenix. Anybody who has ever been basically the best female bodybuilder in the world, they are working to bring those back, bring those athletes back, and to provide sort of a tribute and a celebration of all those great female bodybuilders. I know when we were in New York this past weekend, Jake was talking to Beth Francis about it a little bit.
Nice.
People are really excited. So I'm so pleased with the work Jake and his team are doing, because it is important, and I agree with you, AJ. I think, look, I don't care if you're into that kind of physique or not.
No.
We all need to respect that. We all need to respect that corner of the industry, and they deserve, the opportunities, and I'm glad that they're getting them.
It's funny, when they removed female bodybuilding from the Olympia and obviously from the Pro League, it was like I think everyone just kind of. They thought everyone would transition over to women's physique, but there is such a good hardcore fan base that really are sort of supporting the female bodybuilding. But I can see it. I can almost see like a resurgence in interest. I can see that. I think maybe there's some sympathy to the fact that they were taken off the main stage.
Next year, they'll be back.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but back to
I'm into it.
Back to you start increasing the prize money on females. Tell us more about this.
Yeah. So what we're doing is, we're kind of going through it now, and we're going to figure out, exactly specifically how those dollars are going to be allocated. But, the gap between the women have become, over the years, gradually more and more a part of Olympia weekend, of the Olympia experience, the physique division, fitness, figure, the bikini division. It's become more and more a part of the whole Olympia weekend. So we just felt that it was important to offer prize money increases. Now, how those dollars are allocated, we're still kind of going through it. We're sorting through the finances of the weekend. Look, Olympia weekend is a very, it's an expensive production. It's the most expensive production in the category by threefold. Because it's the only event in the world in this category that's held in an arena. There's great events held in convention centers and in theaters and in auditoriums, and they're all great events. But putting an event in an arena carries components, cost-wise. And we want to do that because we want these athletes to be able to have the experience that they deserve. We want the support. We want the sport's biggest event to have that atmosphere that you can only create inside a world-class arena. But those productions are very expensive to execute, coupled with the fact that, the Las Vegas Convention Center and the realities of putting on an event in Vegas make the Olympia weekend a significant commitment. So obviously, right now, I think last year's prize money was just north of 1.3 million across the board, which is significantly larger than the second biggest event. But we're always working to advance that and move that forward. So we don't know exactly how it's going to play, but right now we do know that the winners of the women's events will be receiving more money than they did a year ago. And as soon as we're able to give out some specifics, we'll pass that along. But it's definitely a priority, and it's long overdue.
Okay. Obviously, the Arnold Classics are colossal. How much communication is there between the Arnold organizers and the Olympia organizers, given that they're under the same umbrella of the Pro League?
Yeah, there's a lot of respect. I get calls from, Bob Lorimer, and we share ideas. Look, we're all in this together, right? I mean, we're all dealing with a lot of the same vendors, the same sponsors, the same exhibitors, the same challenges as the world changes and different legislations change and different things in the economy. We're all affected by it. So we pick each other's brains all the time. I wouldn't describe the events as rivals by any means. We go to their event and they come to ours, and we support the Arnold, and the Arnold folks, they support the Olympia. And look, I think they're critically important to each other's success.
So you don't see them. You don't see them as competition.
No, the events are held roughly 6-7 months apart from each other, completely different parts of the geography here in the U.S. There's, the Arnold Classic keeps Arnold Schwarzenegger close to this industry, and we all value that. So I don't see that as a conflict or a rivalry at all. I think when I go to the Arnold Classic and I see it thrive, that's a good indication that we're going to do okay this year. Yeah. And similarly, when they come to the Olympia and they see that of us, look, we all steal ideas from each other, right? I'm sure the folks from Columbus, they walk through our expo and they take notes and we take notes, and it's just the way of the business. But no, it's a very positive relationship.
They're very different brands. It's like Nike and Adidas.
Now we got done. We got to grill him a little bit, but more important things. But the Arnold Classic, we don't care about. We talk about the Mr. Olympia.
Go ahead and grill him then, AJ.
A couple of things. On Thursday, the press conference. It's one of my favorite moments of the Mr. Olympia. Yeah. Who's going to be on the stage this year? Have you decided? Because sometimes you have the open bodybuilders. Sometimes now the men's physique top 5 is there. Sometimes it's the 212. Who's going to be on the main stage this
Let's do it this way, because there are some unknowns there. How would you guys, what would be a good press conference for you guys? I know you guys know how to mix things up. For me to tell you what we may or may not be doing, that's not productive. I want to hear some ideas, so give it to me. How should we do this?
We have one press conference with only the open.
Okay.
And we have 1 hour before press conference with all the girls. And no, you can't.
Too many girls, too many people. You wouldn't have enough. No.
Who do we want to see?
Just
Bob would be dying.
Just so you know, in the past, we used to do that. I used to host the press conference with Bob when we did that years ago. We would have the entire lineups come out, 23, 24 guys. And what would happen is we'd always feel this obligation to make sure every competitor had a chance to at least speak for a moment.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly challenging to do that. And it's far less interesting than you might think to have all the guys out there.
I would have the open guys and the top 5 of the past 212 bikini and men's physique. So if you get top 5 from last year, you're allowed to be up there amongst all the open guys.
I'll go for that.
And you have to get Bob and Dennis James. They have to ask the bikini girls and the men's physique guys some legit questions too. So if they're up there, you have to give them a question.
Yeah.
How do you like that idea, Adon?
It's funny. I like the idea when you start talking about legit questions, because I'm all for mixing it up. Years ago when we used to do this, we had a couple years where we tried a format out. Giles, you might remember this. This goes back to like 05, 06, where Bob and I would come out, and over the course of the year, we would interview everybody, right? Each week we did 35 or so shows a year, so we would interview everybody. By the time the Olympia came around, we had everybody. We would have already interviewed everybody.
Yeah.
And when they were back in those days, these guys would talk shit about each other all the time. And this was back when everybody loved, this was back before there was a big love fest. Now everybody loves everybody and everybody's best friends, and that's great, but from a standpoint of creating theater and entertainment value, it was always fun when you could get Dexter take a swipe at Ronnie or Ronnie to take a swipe at Jay. And then what we would do is I'd walk over to Dexter Jackson. I'd ask him a question about, say, Jay Cutler. And then he would answer me. And then I would say, Dexter, interesting you would say that here, but that's not exactly what you said. And no, here's what got even better. We would cue the soundbite.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic.
So this has to be done this year.
Yeah, I like it. Preparation.
The entire room would hear Dexter say something not so nice about Jay, and then put the microphone in front of Jay's face and say, hey, what do you think of that?
I love it.
Now, that was, to me,
that's genius. That's genius.
So this is the plan for this year then?
That's genius.
I don't know that that's going to happen this year.
Yeah, that would be great.
But we were told to discontinue doing that.
Why?
Maybe it was
Why?
I don't
Come on,
know.
answer.
I don't know. But yeah.
What will Mark Wahlberg's job be? I know you use him before, leading up with magazines, all that, but at the Olympia, fans of Mark Wahlberg, can they reach him? Can they talk to him? What's the deal with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, so right now what we're waiting on, he's supposed to be shooting a movie in the fourth quarter. So we're waiting for confirmation on how that whole scheduling thing is going to work. But as long as there are no conflicts, and we don't foresee that there will be, we're just always careful about what we commit him to because we don't want to get in trouble. But the plan is you'll realistically see him at the expo. That's the idea. You would see him at the expo, and whether or not that carries over to the evening show, we're working through that, and we're checking on certain availabilities and seeing how all that plays. But he obviously has a big interest in this industry. He recently acquired a piece of a training facility called F45. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. They've popped up all around the world. They originated in Australia. There's like 1,500 locations. He's got a piece of that. He's got his performance inspired. He has his aqua hydrate water. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So he's going to try to make an appearance to represent those properties to the best that he can. But we're still working through that. But the plan at this point is realistically it would be the expo, unless we're able to make more out of it than just that.
Yeah. The Mr. Olympia is for fans around the world. I'm from Norway. For around the world some people can't go to Las Vegas. We like to watch it on stream. The camera work a couple of years have been for a pure bodybuilding fan, it's been frustrating sometimes. Is there any way to improve this? And is there any way for the Olympia brand to stream the event and get people to pay? We will pay. We don't care what it costs. People will pay.
They will.
All right. Well,
we will pay.
Here's some news on that. So, as you know, webcasting is not foreign to me. I've obviously been involved in webcasting for a long time.
Yeah. And
so that's a space that's pretty familiar. So with that said, I can tell you this, that the webcast is an infinitely higher priority this year than it ever has been because the problems we've had in the past, and B, I'm overseeing the event. And for me, that's one of the most critical things. No, we're not going to make you pay to watch the Olympia. That's not going to happen. We want big audiences. We want people from all over the world watching, and we want to make sure that these athletes and our sponsors and everybody who has, a stake in the Olympia, we want to make sure that this is as visible a weekend as possible. So we're not going to charge anybody to watch it. We are going to greater lengths than has been gone through in the past. There's certain types of load testing, certain types of servers, certain types of camera operation that all goes into making sure that the webcast goes off as seamless as possible. Now, there's always going to be issues inside a facility. You're always going to have some limitations, but I can tell you right now that making that webcast a priority from day one has been very, very important to me. So I'm with you. There's nothing more frustrating than when we hear stories, because I would host these things, and while I'm hosting it, I'm just a guy with the microphone, and I'd have my phone would be blowing up while I'm talking into the, while I'm providing commentary, we can't see it. It's freezing up, and it makes people angry, especially those groups of people that would gather in like gyms or in bars and would watch it on the stream, and there'd be hundreds of people, and I'm picturing this scene where it's sticking and people aren't able to watch it. And quite frankly, it would drive me nuts because we're better than that, and we need to do a better job. So, I can assure you guys, it's something that we care deeply about. With that said, and, with all the money that I know Steve Bleckman is paying you guys to host this show, I'd like to think that he should fly you both first class to Las Vegas to be there. Steve, if you're watching, and I know you are, take care of these guys. Get them on an airplane. Bring them to Vegas. These guys are big advocates for the sport.
First class.
We want them there. Allocate a few bucks and make sure AJ and Giles are a part of the Olympia experience this year, because we want these guys there. And that is my request. And you know what? Even everybody in the background over there who's behind the camera, who's...
He's nodding as well.
Yeah. By the way, Steve's going to kill me for this. No, seriously, I really hope you guys can be there, because I think it would be great for you to be able to go back to the studio after Olympia weekend and tell those great stories that, Giles, as you know, you can only tell those really good stories when you're out down there in the trenches. And
you mean the stories at the show or the after parties?
That's a whole nother.
He didn't know what to make of that.
Did you see his reaction?
That's a different sort of show. Sorry.
I'm sleeping by then.
Dan, given that you and myself have been in the industry kind of so long, and we've seen the changes in the media, the way that it's used, and how social media is so powerful. Print media is is still around. It's still present. How do you see the future of the fitness and bodybuilding media? Where do you see it going?
God, I'll tell you. So there was a time where there was real reason to be concerned, right? Where there was this general feeling that print was dying, and there was fewer and fewer. Like, remember back in the day when the press pit was just jam-packed at all these shows?
Yeah.
Now you look at a press pit, it's shrunk a little bit, right? Because there's different ways to cover things. So things have changed in many areas, but I think we've kind of, like any other industry, when it goes through a bit of a slump, it kind of weans out, certain things. The cream rises, as they say.
Yeah.
And I think to some extent, a lot of these businesses, from AMI and Muscle and Fitness, and I've seen it firsthand across the board. There has been a series of acquisitions out there among other companies, and there has been a lot of things that have taken place where I feel like companies have learned how to operate more efficiently. They've learned how to navigate this social media environment. When I started Pro Bodybuilding Weekly, Facebook and Twitter hadn't been born yet. So it was a whole different mindset. When we would host a show, people were watching live, and they would go on the various forums and they would comment on what we were saying as it was happening. Now everybody just watches when they want to watch. So people are obviously more in control of what they consume and how they consume things. I've always said that if somebody is willing to give you a bit of their time to watch your show, that we have a responsibility to make it worth their while. Which is why I give you guys a lot of credit, because you guys do a long format. And I know, Giles, we were going back and forth on that the other day. And I think first of all, I think it's incredibly difficult to do that. And then I always feel like I'm asking, because over the years we would do a 1 hour format on PBW, and people would always say, go longer. But my feeling was always, how much of your day are you really going to spend listening? You'll tell me to go longer, but are you really going to spend all that time listening? So I think what you guys are doing is incredibly difficult and impressive, that you're able to sustain an audience and create multi-houred formats. But as far as to answer your question, Giles, the future of things, I think it's bright. I think people have finally learned how to integrate social media for what its intention is, and people have learned to create original content, and I'm hoping that the bar starts to raise again on the original content. Like, this is why I love what you guys are doing, because a lot of times people would say to me, nobody cares about quality, just crank out quantity, crank out content. The people who crank out the most content win. And you know what? There might be analytics that support that theory. There might be some analytics out there that say if you create something new every single day, even if it's crap, it's going to build up your following. And I'm sure there's truth to that. But I don't care about that, man. I like quality.
Thank you. Yeah, Dan, Agent is kind of he's a bit more concerned with the views than I am, because I can understand that. I kind of am, but for me, it's more about we both share this vision that we have this. It's more about the integrity of the quality, showcasing the athletes. I mean, when we started this show, our first two guests were Phil Heath on episode 1, Flex Lewis episode 2, and they were over 3 hours long, but it was just one guest. We have our intro, and then we scaled it back, because we spoke to the team at MD, and they said, look, scale it back to 2 hours. And then we, through something, a guest letting us down, we decided to go multiple guests, and then we creeped it back up to like 3 hours, over 3 hours, some have been 3.25. And since we've done that with the multiple guests and with the ad breaks, and the way that, because this is also available as an audio downloadable, people message us all the time, and they'll say, well, I like to listen to it on the way to work. So every day on the way to work, I will listen to it, and by Friday, it's done. Because people listen to things differently now.
Speak for people who's more interested in this. We speaking to Phil Heath every day. Yeah. We met him last week. You have our word. We're doing every hour of the day. We are talking to Phil and making him come back to this Olympia.
Oh, please, Phil.
Let me ask you something. What is your unemotional, analytical assessment of the probabilities that Phil Heath competes in 2019? Because I'll be the first to tell you, I do not know if Phil Heath is competing at the Olympia. We've had some great conversations. I have tremendous respect for Phil and what he means to this sport and his talent. But what is your take on how this is going to go?
I honestly think he's going to do it this year. I'm not based upon any fact. We spent a lot of time with him. We didn't really ask him that question directly that much, but we do. I mean, AJ speaks to him a lot. I speak to him most days. And I honestly feel, just because he was like the other weekend we were in Body Power, he's weighing like 275, and he says, I'm so happy I can train without pain for the first time in 2 years. I've healed quicker than I thought. And I feel that there's a real swell of love to get Phil back, because I remember, but we had Bob Chick on the other week. We had Jay Cutler, and they were all saying, please, Phil, come back, take your title back. It's... Because I think if he comes back, I think it's lights out.
Phil Heath just wants to know that you can confirm that you guys love Phil Heath, correct?
We love Phil. I've told Phil that too. I've gotten on the phone with Phil, and I have told him that it is my opinion that the sport is better with him in it than with him not in it. I also have tremendous. But with that said, and I'll unfortunately I have to say this. Historically speaking, the most special nights in Olympia history are the nights when a champion is crowned for the first time. We all remember 98 Ronnie Coleman, right? Mm-hmm. We remember 2006 Jay Cutler. We remember the night Phil won the Olympia for the first time, right? We remember the night in 1984 when Lee Haney became the dominant champion. We remember those nights. So I will tell you this, that without Phil Heath in the lineup, we have probably the singular most up for grabs title that we've had in decades. And that is very exciting for a lot of fans. The idea that they can buy a ticket, walk into that arena, and there are 5 or 6 people with almost an equal opportunity to grab this thing. Sean Roden is your defending champion. And by the way, what Sean Roden looked like a couple weeks ago, as much as none of us want to see that, Sean Roden's going to be ready for the Olympia. We all know he's going to be ready for the Olympia.
Yeah. That wasn't the issue, though. That wasn't the issue.
That wasn't the issue.
That was never the issue, right? No. That was never the issue. Yeah. But with that said, let me tell you something. Brandon Curry, he's looking pretty damn good, and William Bonac looks tremendous, and don't sleep on Dexter Jackson, or there's a handful of guys that are out there that I'm sure I forgot somebody in there, but there are guys out there that all have a legitimate chance of winning this title. And I know that the uncertainty is first of all, it's highly marketable. People love the idea of the uncertainty. So if Phil comes, great, and if he doesn't come, that's okay too. The event has always been larger than every champion. The event is larger than Arnold. The event is larger than Ronnie. It's larger than Jay. It's larger than Phil.
This is where Kai Green went wrong. This is where Kai Green went wrong. I think he thought he was bigger than the event. Sorry. You say 5 or 6 guys. have got the potential to win it. Think about what happened from 1997 to 1998. A guy went from 9th place in 1997 and he jumped up to first in 1998. You're saying that there's 5 or 6 guys, and we all know who those guys are. Do you think there's a potential for someone to jump up from 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th? Someone like, say, a Cedric McMillan. Hang on. Someone like a Cedric McMillan to just get his shit together and just go and take that title. Do you think there's a potential for that?
If there was ever a year where that was a reasonable possibility, this year more than any is that year, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's a real, I kind of think back to like 81, 82, 83. 81, Franco, 82, Dickerson, 83, Samir, 84, Haney. That to me is sort of where we might be right now, where it might be a situation where Phil won it a couple years ago and Roden won it last year, and maybe Roden doesn't defend this year. Maybe we have 3 champions in 3 years, and then maybe somebody new, maybe Rami gets it together next year and wins it next year. Who knows how it's going to play? But I would not be surprised if we're in a window right now where 3 or 4 guys are winning the event over the course of 3 or 4 years, which I don't think is a bad thing either.
I would personally love to see, because like from 1979 to 1984, we had a different Mr. Olympia every year, even though there were previous Mr. Olympias, Franco and Arnold coming back. I would love to see a few Mr. Olympias. I think once someone goes past 3 Olympias, the fans do tend to turn a little bit. I remember them turning on Ronnie. I remember them turning on Jay and saying he looked like a fridge and all this. And then he loses the title, comes back and wins it in 2009, and everyone loved him again. I would love to see. I would love to see either Brandon or Phil come back this year. I would love to see either of those 2 win it. But I realize that there's other guys that do have the potential to win it. Over to you, AJ.
I think Phil Heath will do it. I think he will come back. Even if he doesn't, as you said, for us bodybuilding fans, it would be great for him to come back, but Mr. Olympia is epic anyway. But one thing I would like to see, that the Mr. Olympia brand start working with your champions after they win.
That's a good point.
Because this year, what can I say? Sean Roden, a fantastic physique that day. But we haven't seen him much since that day.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no question that, look, the event's a 5-day event, roughly. There's 360 other days in the year. And to me, the Olympia is a brand. It is something that needs to be developed. That's why every single day, from 7 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night, me and Tamer and our team, we're focused on different ways to bring whether it's through celebrity, whether it's working with the athletes. There's obviously other divisions that have become more and more popular.
Yeah.
So we completely agree. There needs to be more done to make sure that we connect with new audiences and we engage new people. And there is no doubt about that. It's extremely important.
It's very important.
The athletes themselves have to be a participant in that process. They have to want to be a part of that process. So the nice thing about American media is we have AMI, which owns, of course, the Olympia, is one of the larger media companies in the world. And, whether it's, the various magazines that are tied to AMI, we have a lot of access between print and digital properties and social media, that if an athlete wants to be a part of that machine, those resources are there. And many have come forward. And we are beginning to do things to make that a bigger part of our program. But some people, to be honest with you, just aren't into it. They want to just go to the gym and train every day and get ready for the show.
They're wasting opportunity.
You're Mr. Olympia, man. You have to.
Dan, do you remember before Robin Chang became one of the organizers of Olympia? He was like an agent, a manager, wasn't he? And he managed, I remember, Paul Dillette, and there was like a group of athletes he would manage. He would book guest posing. He would tell them how to conduct themselves. He would school them, mentor them. Can we maybe get someone in place that can take 10 or 15 of the top Olympia competitors and say, look, if you come under my wing, because I'll be honest, I do get a little bit, especially with interacting with a lot of the athletes on this show, we do get a bit distressed, I think is the word, by some of the lack of professionalism and self-marketing. I mean, even just the way they conduct themselves on social media, the way they conduct themselves sometimes at... there's a lot of them are very, very good, but we obviously in a circle of the industry, sometimes I do hear stuff and I just think, oh, why would you do that? You're not represent, because I don't think it's just all down on Sean Roden's shoulders. I think it's on all the pro athletes' shoulders. They represent the sport, they represent the Olympia brand, the title, and I think they're all responsible.
There's no question. What you said is perfect, and we all agree. And it's definitely something that is being looked at now and is being implemented in ways that really hadn't before. Because each one of these competitors, these are all the best in the world, and each of them individually has their own influences. They have hundreds of thousands and many times millions of followers and fans around the world. Each of them can advance the cause, whether you're the winner or whether you're the person who finished 14th in the 212 last year. There are opportunities for everybody to advance the cause, and you just have to want to be a team player. You just have to want to be a part of this process and a contributor, and there's ways to do that. And there's obviously a lot of evidence out there of people that are doing it right. And then there are folks out there that just, for whatever reason, they just don't see it that way. But, what I learned is we can't all see it the same way. Like a lot of people, even the Kai Green thing, right? It would seem to be obvious that Kai Green, to me, to you guys, it would seem like a no-brainer. Why wouldn't Kai Green want to show up and collect what a lot of people feel is rightfully his at this point, right?
Yeah.
Kai Green would come in. He would be the favorite to win the contest if he were to enter it. And it would seem like such an easy decision, right? But not everybody's wired the same way. Kai has things that are important to him. He has different ways of quantifying value in different parts of his life.
Right.
So, not everybody sees things with the same level of clarity that we would think they should, but the way we think isn't always right. To every individual, they have their own thing. They have their own business interests, their own priorities. And I don't know. Man.
Yeah, but Dan, you're like me. You want to see, you love the sport. You
want to see the best of the best on stage.
You love all the athletes. You've got great connections with them. You build relationships, friendships with them, their families, all the friends, and it's just like you want to see them do well.
There was a new award last year, People Champion. Will that be this year?
It will be, yes.
It will be.
What is it?
Can you explain us? Okay. What about it will be again?
Yes, it will be, and I will tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why.
So, of course, Willie Winkler was the Fans' Choice winner last year.
Yeah.
And very popular bodybuilder.
Very popular.
The idea came from a couple elements. First of all, it was only open to people in the arena. This was not something that was voted on around the world. It was through some IT components that I'm not smart enough to explain. They were able to set this up. They were able to set this up so that people in the arena and only in the arena were able to, there's some sort of a geo-block component where only people in the arena were able to vote. And I know as much as we love our webcasts, as much as we love our fans from around the world, people who come to the event, they spend a lot of money to come to the event, right? It's they get on airplanes, they fly to the event, and they're in the building. And we're always trying to create more ways for the fans in the building to be a part of the Olympia experience, to maybe influence something that happens on stage. Years ago, there was talk about having the fans actually be a part of the actual outcome.
No, don't do that. That's not
which. That's a whole can of worms that we don't want to go down. But this kind of creates a bit of a happy medium where it's a way for the fans in attendance to be able to speak their mind and to let everybody know what they think about what they saw. And it creates an experience that only those who buy a ticket can experience.
Okay.
And that was one of the reasons behind it.
Okay. What about a Best Poster Award?
Yeah, I don't know. The Olympia, look, the Olympia is fortunately, the Olympia is one of the shows where people really across the board put on good posing presentations. They take a lot of time to do it. It's not really not to say that those are gimmicky things, because, you can make a good case that, any special award would be gimmicky in its own right. But with that said, we spend a lot of money. We spend a lot on prize money for the athletes.
Yeah, I'd rather see it go into the prize money, I think. Yeah.
Let me also be clear about this. There's roughly 190 some odd professional athletes that come to the Olympia, 190 something. We fly them in, we put them up in the hotel, there's prize money, And there's just so much, right? There's a point where you can only do so much.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that there's definitely a lot of interest in making the posing routines as entertaining as possible. And I think that's why promoters do it, but it hasn't been a part of the Olympia.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want to give any final questions to Dan?
No questions. We are pumped about the Olympia, aren't we?
Yeah. I love the Olympia. It's fantastic.
We're really thankful. We have your AMI athlete Juan Morel later.
Yes, thank you. We Angelica helped organise that for us, so it's great that we've got access to those kinds of athletes, the AMI athletes. So we really do appreciate. We're
really glad because we're MD. We're not your opponents. We are your allies, you know, and every day we're trying to help bodybuilding grow.
Yep.
And this is a really, what can I say? We're really proud to have you on our show. You've been one of our best guests ever.
Yeah.
Because it's so, for me, it's so important to talk to you directly.
Yep.
Try to influence in a positive way, the Olympia. And we'll be promoting everything you guys do. We got the females will be there. We have some celebrities who will be there.
Yep.
We have Jay Cutler, ambassador. We have, he promised us better streaming.
Yes.
212s on Friday. It's going to be a great Olympia.
Well, guys, I appreciate it. And Giles, just real quick, you know, I worked for MD and for Steve for about 5 years, and I have tremendous respect for what goes on over there. I know how hard it is to do this. We've seen media outlets fail left and right over the years, right? They all of a sudden you look up and they're just gone, and it's hard to sustain that model. It can be very challenging, and I have tremendous respect for what Steve has done to continue to make sure that people are getting their magazines every month, and that folks like you are able to put out content, and we're looking forward to having MD at the Olympia this year, and I'm hoping you both can make it. I will also say to your viewers, to your listeners, those folks who are on the subway heading to work right now, or listening at their desks, or while they're doing cardio, I will tell you that if you haven't been to the Olympia before and you ever thought about it, go to MrOlympia.com, order your tickets, be a part of the Olympia experience. If you order your tickets now, this is when you get the really good seats. Once we get towards the end of the summer and you decide then to go, all of a sudden you're sitting in the back row. But if you really have ever thought about it, go to MrOlympia.com, go to the ticketing page, lock in your seats, get your good seats, experience the weekend the right way. There's still VIP packages.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And the best part about it is,
what a trip.
You know what it's like, John. When you come back and you get those emails from people and they tell you the experience changed them. It changes people in ways that are hard to explain. It makes people come back, and it makes people want to commit more to their businesses. It makes people come back and want to commit more to their health and their training. And it's the reason why we have a gold VIP section, right? And it's a limit. It's a couple hundred people that every single year get the best of the best. And they just renew every year. They come back year in and year out. It's almost every year. It's almost the same people in the same seats. And there's a good reason for it, because it's a special experience. They come back year in and year out. And fortunately, we still have silver level VIPs, so you can still order those. The golds are long sold out. But that's just my advice to anybody.
When do you have to buy the gold ones?
When do you have to sold it?
Yeah, but when for next year then?
Oh,
when do you order the gold? If you want to experience the gold packages, when would you need to book them, and what do they cost?
Okay, so for the gold packages, if you ever wanted to get on that list where if somebody opted not to renew, you basically would, we don't really do it, to be honest with you, because they're like Packers season tickets.
Okay, silver them. They just sell every year. But the reality is, Giles, if you knew anybody, you would just let me know, and we would make sure that we kept an eye out for them. But there's no system in place for a waiting list, because they just renew every single year. But fortunately, the silver package provides you with the same benefits, just a few rows further back. But it allows you to experience the event in all of its glory, and it's a really special thing to do. So again, MrOlympia.com. I hope you guys, I hope you both are there, and I hope all your viewers and fans everywhere.
I'll be there.
And 2019 Olympia history will be made.
Oh yes, I think
that's
it's going to be a good one. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right then, Dan, I really appreciate you coming on, mate. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Very
good. And also, I really appreciate when you came up to myself and Ron at the Arnold Classic and you made a gesture that MD was going to be very, very welcome and we'll get great seats. And I really appreciate that because, we did it one year. We didn't even have press passes. So that was, we still managed to do a good job though and still made our contribution to the Olympia weekend. So it's important for us to be able to do our jobs properly. So I really appreciate the fact that you said that. So I wanted to state that. So, Dan, all the best, mate. And if you need any, this is our kind of Olympia special episode, so we're trying to help you guys.
Keep doing keep doing what you're doing. I mean, really, I say this in complete sincerity. What you both are doing is really, really, really important. The message is quality. The message is positive. Yeah. You're informing people. You're bringing new audiences in. That's all anybody can ask. And I know for you guys, it's authentic. It's your truth, and you're living your truth, and you're putting the message out there every single day in different ways. And I'm honored to be a part of it and to have been on your show, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
That's exactly how we feel, Dan. That's exactly how we feel. No, thank you. Thank you. All right, then, Dan. Guys. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much, Dan. Bye-bye. 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 Yes, that was good. That was really good. You really...
Giles, 2009. What date is it today?
21st of May.
If I'm not dead by year 2030, I will be in the higher ups myself. Just wait and see.
Well, you've got a lot of passion. You've got a lot of sincerity.
Nobody loves it more than me. Well, you do. No.
Hello.
For both of us.
Yeah. Well, we care. We care at the end of the day. And like when he said that at the end, he said, the authentic. That's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I feel about the industry. So. I love it, and we want good things for all the athletes. We want good things for everyone involved.
So just
and at the Olympia, mate, honestly, it is. I would never miss another Olympia. And do you know what? I get baffled when some of the fans in America. What's the matter,
Chris?
What's the matter?
If I can't go to Olympia this year,
everyone's getting tombstoned.
I don't think I'll survive.
Are you?
No, because this is now I'm friends with everybody. VIP here and there. All the muscle girls want to say hello, AJ. What's up?
Hey, AJ.
Brandon Curry. I'm DMing every day, sending me motivation.
When Bob was I
have to be your security for Sean Roden because he's looking for you.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if I sit in Oslo watching Ricky Lake? Eating popcorn? That's not gonna work this year.
All right then, AJ. Well, that was that was absolutely fantastic.
Just quick wrap up. I'm so hyped. I'm spitting. Quick wrap up. 212 Friday. So people, 212 is gonna be on a Friday this year.
Yep.
Jay Cutler's gonna be your special ambassador.
Yep.
Mark Wahlberg will help in the magazines leading up, like promote the Miss Olympia brand. He'll be He'll be at the expo. Mm-hmm. Female bodybuilding legends will be every day at the expo with a special stand.
Sorry.
Prize money will be up.
Yep.
And streaming will be a better quality.
Yeah. Dan's on the case.
Dan's putting in that work.
Dan the man is on the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Okay. We got to go.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go to an ad break and we'll be right back with our very next guest for Global Muscle Radio. And we are out.
Pump Media, we out.
Pump Media, we out. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host AJ, all the way from Norway, and we're joined by our
first ever bikini girl.
Yes, New York Pro winner, Mariella
Pellegrino. Yes. Hi.
We'll get it back. No, leave this in. This is funny.
No, this is not funny. This is not
Come on, no. It's just one of those things. You press the wrong button.
Oh, man. Bikini girls, huh? What? It's ringing.
Oh, it's just ringing her. Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
Okay. No, don't worry.
One more time?
No, it's fine. We'll just carry on. Carry on. Let the show must go on.
The show must go on. No, thanks for coming on. You're our first ever bikini girl. Usually we have bodybuilders, but now we have a bikini girl.
Hi, guys. Thank you. I'm so proud of this.
So you just won the New York Pro. This was your third pro win. Is that correct?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I feel, I want to say the same things I say to Angelica. I feel like I win the Olympia. So.
Fantastic.
How many other...
it's it's the New York Pro is very important show, so I feel amazing. It's like a dream. The dream can become true. So I'm very happy. So happy.
When we saw you in the contest, we were so impressed by you. So we wanted to know more about you. Can you tell the people at home, who are you? Can you tell us more about your story, please, so we can get to know you better?
When I start to compete, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you from and things like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm from Italy, and
Where in Italy? Sorry, where in Italy? Where?
Sorry?
Where in Italy?
Where in Rome.
Oh,
Okay.
Rome. Oh, lovely. I was
Yeah.
there 2 years ago.
And I started to compete maybe I think 5 years ago, and I became pro 2 years ago. Last year I won 3 pro shows, and then I go to the Olympia. But the Olympia they don't go very well. I don't do top 10. So
Okay.
I start to work out differently, because for the Olympia was too skinny. So the judge tell me you have to put more muscle.
Yeah.
And I take a break, and I just start. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I did Pittsburgh. I did 4th place, and now this is my second show of the year.
Yeah. What was the other 2 pro shows you won?
Is 2 in Italy and 1 in Spain.
Oh, fantastic! Fantastic. So when did you move from Italy? Because you before we started filming, you said you used to live in Los Angeles. When did you move from Italy to America, and why?
Because when I go to the Olympia, I decide to do an experience to Los Angeles, because I love Los Angeles. I always I want to do an experience, and I stay here to more than 2 months. And then I come back in Italy, and I asked my visa like athlete to stay here in US. I got it, so now I'm in New Jersey, because I have more work, and that's it.
What do you do for work? Do you work in the fitness industry?
What? Sorry?
Do you work in the fitness industry?
Yes,
What do you do?
I have my sponsor,
Oh, okay.
MHP.
MHP, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So that enables you, that allows you to live in America and kind of follow your dreams with your bikini competing?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic. That's great.
What's the best part of competing in bikini for you? What do you love the most about it?
The most body of my body?
No. What do you love the most about competing in bikini?
Really, I love the prep. I love the feel like the way I feel during the prep. Give my best every day. Sometimes it's hard, but this is what I think. What they change you like an athlete, and become better and better every prep. So I love the prep. I love also the stage, of course, but I love the prep. I love the 3 months when you focus for the competition. I feel amazing. Also, if I'm tired, hungry, but I like it.
How many calories? I was just wondering, when you prep for the bikini competition, how many calories do you usually diet on?
I'm not too low, honestly, but
Okay.
like 200 to 200.
2,000?
Sorry.
1,200 or 2,000?
30. How much it is?
Oh.
No, 3,000 calories? Impossible. That much?
0.
2,000 calories. And,
Yeah.
Not 200.
No.
That would be very low.
Yeah. And what is your training for bikini? How do you train? How do a top bikini girl like you, how do you train? Talk to us about how you're training.
I train 2-3 times per week, glute and hamstring. 2 times shoulder and back.
Oh, wow.
So legs very light, just maybe 1 time per week, or sometimes I don't do legs because already I feel like it's big. So I focus more on my hamstring and my glutes and shoulder and back. That's it.
So you said you moved now to New Jersey. Is there a particular gym in New Jersey you train at, or any group of people that you're kind of associated with?
I train pretty much alone.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, I have. My coach is from Los Angeles. So
Who's your coach?
my coach is Kimodo.
Okay.
Who's that?
Kim, that's a popular
Okay.
coach. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's popular coach. He's the coach also from Angelica Teixeira.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I always in contact with him about Skype, you know. And sometimes when I was in Los Angeles, I trained with him also. But now I know what I know what I have to do. Every month change my diet, my training. But I like to train alone. Sometimes with my friends, I have one bikini competitor near to my home, and sometimes we go together, maybe to train together. That's it.
Does a bikini girl, are you interested in bodybuilding? Do you follow the open guys at all?
I like to follow, yeah. Not crazy, but I like to follow the other athletes, yeah, also the other category.
Okay, so who's your favorite, Phil Heath or Sean Roden?
Big question. Because I like Phil, but I like also Shoroden, and I know Shoroden, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, you know Sean Roden. Okay.
Okay, so who's he your favorite?
What?
Is he your favorite bodybuilder of all?
My favorite?
Is he your favorite bodybuilder, or is it someone else, one of the other guys?
For bodybuilder, I think this is the best too. Mine, yeah.
Oh, okay. So have you got any more shows planned before the Olympia?
Now I have, in 5 days, I have another competition.
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Fantastic. Oh, that's great. So you're going from, so are you planning doing any more shows apart from that, apart from the Olympia, obviously?
What, sorry?
Are you doing any more shows after Puerto Rico, or is it then just Puerto Rico, then the Olympia?
My coach already told me, Mariella, after Puerto Rico, you rest and take a break for 2 weeks. You don't train. For me, it's crazy. It's too hard to don't train 2 weeks. But he say, I don't train 2 weeks because I work really hard. Then September until now, I work really hard. And they say, you need 2 weeks to stop, and then we start to the prep. Really easy, but we start the prep for the Olympia.
How are you going this Olympia? What is the improvements you have to do to win the Olympia this year? How does a bikini girl
improve?
What do you need to improve on to win? To win, not place high, but to win. What do you need to do?
My coach, and also we always ask after the show, we always ask to the judge what we can improve, and because this help, for us to understand what we can improve. And they say, now I have my best condition. So just keep going to work out and try to go better and better, and try to, to go better with better condition. Just this.
Cool. So are you going to do any more pro shows after the Olympia? Any of the European shows like the Romania, or if they don't do bikini, do they? Romania?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so are you planning on doing any more shows after the Olympia?
After or before?
After the Olympia, because some of the post-Olympia shows, there's plenty around the world. Are you going to do any?
After the Olympia, I don't plan it yet.
Right. Okay.
Are there any plans to do any type of modeling or movies or something? Because you see, you have like what's it called? Epic look. Any plans of doing any movies or singing or modeling or something other than bikini to?
I'm in Italy. I always, before do bikini, I always work like a model, and I always work on TV. So
fantastic.
Yeah. So for a lot of years, I work on TV, And I did a lot of publicity and campaign, like model, like underwear, something like that. I always work like modeling. And then I started to work out and start to my career like bikini.
Are you planning to go back to Rome at any time after your prep, after the Olympia? Do you go back to see your family and your friends? Back to Rome?
Yeah, I want to finish now to compete, and then I think I will go in June, maybe 1 week to see my family before I focus for the Olympia. So for sure.
Since you're from Italy, which football team do you support?
In Italy?
Yeah.
I don't like football.
Oh, you don't like football?
Some of us do.
Some of us
don't.
don't. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, we just want to have you on because we wanted to know more about you. We wanted people around the world to know more about you because, as you can tell, the look is epic.
New York Pro winner.
3 shows last year you won.
What? Sorry?
So we just wanted to show you to the world because we were so impressed.
Yeah.
So we wish you good luck in Puerto Rico.
Thank you so much, guys.
We wish you good luck at the Olympia.
Yep.
Thank you.
And can you say something in Italian to take us out?
Dai, arrivederci.
Oh, even I know what that is. Yeah, I know that one.
And thanks to MHP for sponsoring you also.
Yeah, that's the Gerard Denti. That's fantastic.
Gerard
That's
Denti.
great that Mariella can go to America and pursue her dreams of competing in pro bikini. It's fantastic. Mariella, thank you so much for coming on. We wanted to give you a little bit of publicity there and build some hype because it's so important for promotion and publicity going into the Olympia. Now people will know who you are. So thank you for coming on and want to wish you all the best for Puerto Rico and the Olympia. So
thank you for this opportunity, guys. I really enjoy this.
yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mariella. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, amazing. She's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, she's beautiful. No, I mean, as in the overall look, the glamorous, it's kind
You know
of...
who Sophia Loren is?
Yeah, of course I do.
At age 20.
Yeah, the cheekbones. Cheekbones.
No,
Yeah,
if you
lovely.
like bikini, check this girl out.
I actually like her look. It reminds me more of the look that was more in vogue 6-7 years ago when I felt bikini was at its best. Like I like to see the abs. I like to see a little bit of musculature.
She had the Marcus Rule shoulders, huh?
Fantastic. No. She got. I was looking at pictures on Instagram. We were doing a bit of research earlier on, and I really like her look.
Yeah.
Actually, that for me it's more what I would see as an Olympia winner than Texera. I do. No, I prefer that look.
You know, even though we don't follow bikini at all, it's nice.
I do follow a little bit. Obviously, when I'm at the Olympia, I'm watching it. I have to.
You don't follow bikini at all.
I'm watching it.
But yeah, we're not following it. It's watching and following. It's two different things, isn't it?
Well, I'm watching it. I'm aware of the top girls.
It's great to see that girls coming all the way from Europe, getting a life in America.
Yeah.
MHP taking care of their athletes. Gerard Denti, that's a good guy.
Yeah, Gerard Denti. That's really cool to sponsor a girl like that, a lady like that. So yeah, that's really good. Really good.
And she has to be part of the Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Oh no, she's
That would be something for her.
Shut up. She's too classy for that.
They're classy women there
They're
too.
not classy
come
women.
on.
Come on, AJ. Stop trolling.
No, Mariella Pellegrino is definitely a woman to look out for.
Wonderful. Yeah, really. And we wish her all the very best. I mean, by the time this episode goes out, Puerto Rico will be over, so you will know the
So
results.
hopefully she won it.
Hopefully you get win number 4. Win number 4. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
good.
good. Yeah, fantastic. And I'll be rooting for the Olympia as well when we're out there in Las Vegas.
Bikini. Is bikini on the rise now?
I think bikini might be on the rise now.
Okay.
Okay, are we going to do the shout-outs? Or?
No, because we have...
Okay, we'll do the shout. Okay, yeah. Okay, we'll go to the ad break and we'll be right back with our final guest on episode 21 of Global Muscle Radio. 22, sorry. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle Radio here at the Pump Media Studios, joined by my co-host, AJ, all the way from Norway, and we're joined by the New York Pro winner,
Juan Morel. Finally, we have him on.
Finally, yes, finally. Juan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Fantastic. 2-time New York Pro winner now, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, 2 times New York Pro winner.
Yeah. Also, we've got to thank you to Angelica for allowing this interview to happen, because you being an AMI athlete, we wouldn't previously have access to you. So Angelica gave us the okay. So big thank you to Angelica for making that happen, because it's great that we can actually get access to the winners, because we want to showcase the best of the best, like yourself, Juan.
Yeah, it's awesome. They allowing us to do a little more, and as athletes, they want us to get a little more exposure and stuff like that. So, which is awesome, and we still get all of our exposure through the magazines, and all that. So nothing really changes. Just allows us to, if asking, getting permission, we get access to be able to do stuff like this.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you won the Arnold Brazil earlier this year, and it's like you would assume that most athletes would I've got my qualification for the Olympia. I'm going to shut it down now. I'm just going to get ready for Vegas and go for that the top placing. What made you do the New York Pro as well and really extend that prep? What was the reason behind that?
Well, I never really extended the prep. I actually never. I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to do Brazil. So New York was always the show that I was aiming for. Brazil was more of I started my prep 10 weeks out at Brazil.
Yeah.
I never usually do a short prep like that, and I decided, well, maybe let's see how I look when I'm 4 weeks out, and I'll decide then, and I'll decide if I'm going to do it. New York was always a show that I was aiming for, and I was just more of I'm a New Yorker. To me, if you ever been to the New York Pro or ask anybody who's been there since day one, I don't know what it is. I guess because I always go to all the shows and I show a lot of support to all the athletes. New York is my crowd, so it's like when I go there, all you hear people is chat, these are saying, and it's my Olympia. It's like, whether I've won it, I've been there 8 times, whether I won it twice.
You done 8 times New York Pro now. You done 8 times New York Pro.
Yeah, since I turned pro, I've done it every year.
Juan, we had John De La Rosa on a couple of weeks ago, and we asked the same question about the New York Pro, and he said, look, he said exactly what you've just said. He said, this is our Olympia. So so it's almost you've got an obligation to yourself to want to do this show, because obviously, it's such a prestigious show, like your own Olympia, really.
I'm a man of my word, so that was one thing. If you get to know me, I keep my word. I never break my word. It's just who I am. I'm old school, and I had a lot of people who bought tickets already. A lot of friends, because that's the show I was originally going to do, and I told them I would do it. So it's like, for me, winning the show and just be like, well, I just won, and backing down just because I want to be selfish, to me that would have been not the right thing to do. So I said I was going to do it, so I was there.
I suppose people would have bought tickets to come and see you. So if you'd have done the Arnold Brazil and gone, do you know what? No, I don't want. I just want to shut it down to the Olympia now. I suppose that would have let a lot of your fans down. And by the sounds of it, you have really good fans.
Yeah, I have amazing fans. I mean, amazing.
You're huge in the Latino community here in Norway. Everybody knows Juan Morel. How was it to go to the Brazil? I saw a picture with you and your wife and Arnold Schwarzenegger. A beautiful picture on Instagram. I liked it right away. But how did they treat you in Brazil when you beat their hometown hero, Brandao? How was the reaction, and how was it?
They didn't boo me.
Wow.
They cheered. It was very surprising. I thought I was going to get booed because they were screaming crazy for him. But every year I've been there, they always scream for me as well.
Okay. Good to hear.
They were always huge for me. But I guess since they were there, that's his hometown, they were cheering for him and not me. Yeah. But when I won, they cheered. And even before that, after prejudging, they were coming up to me and they were like, I was running into fans. They were like, "It's like, you're number one." It's like, "Yeah, we love Brandel, but you're number one." Okay,
fantastic.
So in my head, I'm thinking obviously I have my fans, and they, so everybody's gonna say what they're gonna say. So it was actually pretty cool. And then after the show was over, I still took picture of fans. Like, oh, we love you here in Brazil. But Brazil is awesome. I love it over there. The fans are amazing, very supportive, and they love the sport.
For me, this New York Pro look was your best look yet. I mean, I think what I really noticed your improvements was when you in your side chest and the conditioning, like your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads. I've actually never seen that to that level on your physique before. Would you say that was your best look ever?
I think my goal was for it to be my best look ever. I think it was. I don't think it translated the same in pictures as if you were there.
Okay.
like especially for people that had like really close seats, I was. Me and Eduardo were the most conditioned guys there.
Yes, no, I agree.
So, people who were in there or that were there and were far away, they could have said maybe, he wasn't as hard because back there you can't really see. But people who were there and they were up close, So, the conditioning was amazing. I think I did come in fuller than I did at Brazil at New York. So I had the same, I believe I had the same condition. I would have been harder. But I had the same condition I had at Brazil, but fuller. And if I would have just sacrificed a little bit less fullness, I would have been even harder. I just wanted to come in a little bit fuller.
So which look did you prefer?
I like New York better because I had it was more bubbly. So if you see like a few of the pictures I posted doing most muscular things, everything was exploding. And, like quads around, everything was nice.
In fairness, though, the lighting wasn't the best this year at the New York Pro. But even in some of the terrible quality photos, your conditioning was really showing through. Because so if you can look good in bad light, bad photos, then I was thinking, that's really good condition, especially for a big guy as well. It's a big bottle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with the package I brought. Really, I had a vision and I just said, I'm going to, this is what I want to bring. And it's crazy when you actually have that vision and you bring it. So it was actually, it was awesome. And now I'm going to work really hard into Olympia and even bring a better version of myself.
Yeah. So what's the goal for the Olympia?
I'm going to even make my legs even bigger. I know how to get them bigger now. And I have 9 weeks to actually do that. I'm going to take a little off season now, 8 weeks off season and prep for 8 weeks. So,
When you say you know how to make them bigger, you learn something new, or?
Well, the way I'm training them now, the improvements I made. If you take, I actually do so that way people can see. Take a picture of Toronto Pro, last year, and then compare a picture from the New York Pro now, and look at the difference in leg size. It looks like my legs doubled in size. So, from the Olympia on, I only had about maybe 12 real weeks to improve them. So I made that dramatic change. Like I said, when you put them side by side, the dramatic change that I did, I only did that in 12 weeks or whatever it was. Whenever, because I didn't start my training right away after Olympia. After the Olympia, I took some time off and when I started training my real off season, then I had to start getting ready for a show. I only had about 12 weeks. Maybe I think it was 10 or 12 weeks of off season to really maximize it. I made all that improvement then. Now I have another 8 weeks. So that gives me a good 2 months to actually put more size. And it's all in the training. My training changed.
So what's your mindset now? Because now we follow your career closely. We had very high hopes for you. You have achieved them. But now the old guard is starting to fall out. You just unlocked a new secret with a little bit more leg size and you're peaking now. So do you see yourself as you might win the Olympia in a 2 or 3 years? Is that the mentality you're having now? Do you feel like that something is, because I have to be honest, 2-3 years ago I was not sure for you to win the Olympia. But now times to change. You're improving. The old guards are like going away. What's your mindset these next 2-3 years? Is it Olympics? Is that the goal?
You might hate me for this. I think I can be a top 3 guy someday. I don't know if I can be Mr. Olympia. Okay. A lot of people. I get a lot of stuff from people because some people do say you got the aesthetics. You can be Mr. Olympia, maybe whatever. Obviously, we all have a lot of fans and people can tell you. I don't think I have. I don't know. I just don't feel it. Like, I think that's just not in my cards. I feel like I can maybe someday be a top 3 guy. This year, my goal is to be top 6, top 8. But I don't know if I have what it takes to win the Olympia, because you got guys like Brandon who got aesthetics as well, and he has just he's a little more freakier, but he has the same aesthetics as me. He has a small waist. You still got Phil Heath, who's like,
if he comes
amazing. Dexter hasn't retired yet. I mean, he could probably say, I believe it when he does it, because he still looks amazing. You guys, I don't know, but as being a as winning Olympia, I don't think it's in my cards, but I can settle for a top 3, top 5 guy.
Who do you think? Go on.
I don't know, because now a lot of people are falling off, you know, and as I said, in 2-3 years, you never know, huh?
How old are you now, Juan?
I'm 37.
Oh, so still got a few years there. Yeah,
But,
I mean, Sean Roden, 43, 44.
But I started bodybuilding at 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did my first show at 25. I started this late. When I did my first show at 25, and I only prepped for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I really did my real prep, a real show when I was 26, when I won my overall title. But I started training late in my life. I started training at 22 years old. So I did my first show at 25. I had 3 years of training in my belt. So it was like, I didn't, and it was just not real training. It was just me, I started really, really training when I was 25.
When did you really feel like you could really step it up and be a good bodybuilder and be a pro bodybuilder?
When I did my first show.
Oh, really?
And 2007, I remember it was in November.
Yeah.
And when I did my first show and I competed, and I was like, I knew nothing about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I went backstage and I was like, there was 30 people there, and I'm looking at all these people and they look huge. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing here? I think I'm out of place.
Yeah.
And I got second place. I was like, oh wow. But the only reason I got second place was because I was ripped and I was very aesthetic. I had like nice pleasing lines and stuff like that. Yeah. But then I took a year and came back the next year, added some size. And I don't know, to me, I was like, wow, I love this stuff, I just hooked into the lifestyle. I'm a very regimented person and I like structure, so bodybuilding is perfect for me.
So when did you meet Steve Weinberger, and when did you start training at his gym? Because I obviously in New York, he kind of he takes a lot of he spots the talent, helps them to sort of flourish as athletes. When did you really kind of connect with him and continue your rise?
I think when I turned pro, that's when I met him. I met him before that, always at the shows, but like when I guess. That I asked, for like input, what can I do for my next show? I think I turned pro and I started training at his gym. I always used to go there even before I met him. Like me and my friends from the other gyms used to always go there in the weekend. That's the best gym in the world. So like you got the best leg room, whatever. If you're in New York and you're not training there, you're out of your mind. So I would go there every weekend and just go do legs there. And, when I turned pro and I got contracts, I was like, wow, now I can actually, because the thing was, it was actually easier to get to Bev's gym than to get to the gym I was training. I used to train in the city because I used to be a trainer. Okay. And I was like, all right, it used to take me 2 hours to go into the city. To go to Bev's from where I lived it only took me 40 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay. So, I was like, oh, now I don't need to train people. I can actually, go train. So I would go there and I started training every day over there instead of going into the city. And then I moved to Long Island. The gym is the best gym.
Do you ever train with any of the other powerhouse gym athletes like Akeem or any of those guys?
Oh, me and Akeem were training partners when we first started bodybuilding. We were training partners for 4 or 5 years. Wow. Before, we were amateurs. We were just killing it. I mean, there's actually videos of us back then maybe 200 pounds, deadlifting 8 plates.
Whoa! Yeah, I've seen Akeem. How is it to compete against him then when it's only you and him left on stage and you used to be old training partners? What's the conversation like afterwards when you beat him?
Let me rephrase that. Me, him, and John as well were training partners.
Wow, John De La Rosa.
Yeah, John De La Rosa.
And it's actually, like I said, there's actually videos of us on YouTube of us hanging out as amateurs, talking about what we would do as pros and just, bullshitting and how is it? It's amazing, like if he wins, I'm happy for him. If John wins, I'm happy for him. If I win, he's happy for me. I mean, after the show was over, we all went out to Cheesecake Factory. We ate, we hung out, we hugged each other, we talked. We got a lot of love for each other. New Yorkers, even Victor. Victor was at Cheesecake Factory as well. We're very close. We become like family.
With Victor Martinez too.
Yeah. We'll become like family, So.
Are you still doing the 10,000 calorie challenge type of things in your YouTube channel? Because those, one of his videos has 1 million hits or some crazy numbers on YouTube. People love seeing you eat, man. They love it.
and they ask me all the time. I can't eat like that no more. I mean, I don't know. I don't have the appetite no more. Before I was able to just take food down and go crazy. Now my stomach says no. So yeah,
we won't see that again.
Good.
Not anytime soon. No, I won't say I won't try it for the fans. You know, maybe in the near future, but not anytime soon. I mean, I gotta just kind of like be in the mood one day to like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna suck it in and just try to do it for them. But it hurts, man. Like back then, I used to do that on a regular basis. It was actually part of the way I ate.
Oh, really?
Now if I tried that, it'll be work.
So let's talk about the Olympia coming up. Obviously, your own goals. What do you think is going to happen? Because this Olympia is so wide open. What do you think is going to happen in the top 6 this year?
If Phil does it, and one if Phil doesn't do it.
Okay, 2 sets of results. Come on.
That's a hard call. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think if Phil does it, I think Phil's going to win. Mm-hmm. But if Kai and Phil does it, then it's going to be a battle between them two.
Oh,
Kai.
You think Kai will come back?
Just say because they've been saying that they talked about Kai. I know they say nobody knows if he's doing it, whatever. They but I would say if he was to come, then Now if Phil or Kai don't do it, I hate making predictions. I don't ever do this at all because everybody's I'm good friends with everybody, and I never want to make anybody feel any certain way. I would say I'm just gonna put it like this. My top 3 would be my top 4 is gonna be between Brandon, Sean, Dexter, and William.
Oh wow, you got Dexter in the top 4 again.
Yes.
There's a few people saying that they reckon that Dexter can move back up. So what about guys like Rami and
specific position? No specific placing. Just
no.
That's like.
Yeah, because I think we all thought Dexter was going to retire last year because he said if I never make top 6, he said that as soon as I slip out the top 6, I'm done. But then he got 7th, and he's still looking great, and he's obviously still competing this year. So he's still going strong.
What's your after bodybuilding? What's your aspiration? What's your dreams? What will you do after you retire? Is there a business? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have any? Who is Juan Morel? What you gonna do besides bodybuilding?
I'm just gonna be I'm gonna be in the industry. I love bodybuilding, and I'm just gonna be coaching people. Probably have my own business, my own law. I don't know, something. My own business. I'm gonna be still very well in the sport, giving back.
Do you visit the Dominican Republic at all, or?
I go every year.
Okay. You have family there still.
I got family. Yeah, me and my wife got married there, and we do a little honeymoon there every year too. So,
Fantastic. Okay, have you got any final questions?
No final question. Just we're really excited about this 2 pro wins in this year.
Yeah, awesome.
We're excited to see you in the top 10 at this Olympia. And,
thank you.
And all the good luck for this Olympia one. You have a lot of fans, and we really appreciate watching your career.
I appreciate you guys. I mean, thank you. Definitely appreciate the support. Any support I can get, means a lot. Any positive energy. I'm a positive person, so I'm all about good energy and stuff like that. So, Do
you want to thank any sponsors or thank any particular people?
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank all my sponsors: Apollo Nutrition, Weeder MI. I want to thank my wife, my family. Everybody who's been there for me. That's continues to show me support. Also, I think even before we go, I think we should talk about the Olympia a little bit and let people know that if you haven't been there, they should come check it out. The Olympia, all those people haven't checked it out for the first time. You should go. There's an experience. Definitely. Just you want to go there and experience the whole thing from the expo to just watching, prejudging finals. It's a fun place to be. So
but this is a bit of an Olympia special episode because we've had Bob Chick on this episode. We've had Dan Solomon, the Olympia organizer, and he's been giving us all the exciting new info about Mark Wahlberg and all the different ambassador things and all the different things they do in the expo, moving the show around, trying to improve it. Will it be New York based? Do they ever go to the athletes like yourself and ask you for any input for the Olympia? And being obviously an athlete for AMI.
haven't gotten. No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, that's surprising. Obviously, with being an AMI athlete, I thought they might have, discussed things more with the actual athletes themselves, especially being from New York.
Can we get the Juan Morel's catchphrase before you go?
Now it's a party.
Now it's a party.
Well,
okay, Juan.
Thank you for your time, and we'll be watching you at the Mr. Olympia contest for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You guys have a good one.
I want to see you get a good place in this year, mate. And honestly, two pro wins this year. That's absolutely fantastic. And you've really made a big fan out of me by that win at the New York Pro is absolutely fantastic. And seeing that level of conditioning on such a big guy, it's really, really, because I'm a bit of a conditioning freak, Juan, and it's something I always go for. And it's like when I see the really big guys and they're just not bringing the condition, it drives me insane. It absolutely drives me insane. So when I see a big guy like yourself with, so thick but you consistently bring the conditioning, it's a testament to how many, was it 6 pro wins now?
6 what?
6 pro wins you've had now.
Wins, yes.
Yeah, 6 pro wins, 2 New York Pro wins. You won the Arnold Brazil, so I think a top 6 place at Olympia is long overdue now. I think you're ready for it now, mate.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it this year for some reason. I feel like I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not letting my foot off the gas. I'm back in the gym.
Good.
Kicking butt. So it's like now I'm gonna take advantage of these next 8 weeks and just try to put some solid quality size.
Wow.
And then get ready for the Olympia, do my 8-week prep, and I think I'm going to bring something even special, so it's going to be great.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think we can see you getting
People
a good
got to go to the Olympia to see this package.
Yes, yeah. Well, I'll be there. I mean, I travel. I've been to 6 Olympias. We travel all the way from Europe, It's sometimes it's 3-4 flights for me to get over, but the Olympia is one thing
it's worth
I will never, ever miss. It's, I just think...
I hope to see you guys there,
We will.
Oh, we'll grab you. We'll grab you. We'll grab you for an interview. I've got your number now, so I'll be saying, Juan, can we come up to the room for an interview,
You got to put Giles on block. He's going to start harassing you, man.
Juan, we need an interview.
Should start promoting next year's New York Pro with me and Nathan, the rematch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's a party.
Do you got any words? Do you got any words for Nathan?
Just, I feel like this package would took him down. So,
yeah.
Are you glad he didn't do the New York Pro this year? Or?
So obviously he's made improvements. So I feel like next year we both bring out improved packages and battle it out,
But the first battle will be at the Olympia, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he makes it. He's not qualified yet.
Yeah.
Well, anything can happen. This is bodybuilding.
Anything can happen.
So.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your time.
All right, guys.
Okay, Juan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye. 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 There we go. What a nice guy.
Great guy.
Yeah, I like him. Good energy.
This Olympia is going to be good.
Really good.
Juan Morel.
Good.
Who's in it? Juan Morel,
Olympia.
Brandon Curry, Bonac, Dexter Jackson, Steve Kuklo.
I think Dexter's going to move back up, I think I've got a funny feeling he's going to get a really good placing. Rami is not qualified? Possibly Rami. I don't know what's going to happen with Rami.
Rolly Winkler's doing it.
Thing is, it does leave the room for some new guys to move up. Guys like Nathan, guys like Juan, that could really sneak up several spots, right up into that top 6. So there's room now. There's room.
Can you imagine living in America and not going to the Olympia?
This is what I was going to say, actually, just at the end of that.
How can you not... No, Josh, seriously, if you're a bodybuilding fan...
Crazy.
How can you not go to Las Vegas if you live in America?
I know. I don't understand how you can call yourself a bodybuilding fan and not go to the Olympia. It's one domestic flight. I mean, it's like 4 hours from the West Coast to the East Coast. That's not fun. It's a 2-hour flight with most of America.
European global muscle fans.
Yep.
This Olympia, we're gonna plan something like a global muscle party or something. We got to go together as a crew with a global muscle flag, with a name. We don't want to
get some new jackets made up with global.
Yeah.
So we're representing global.
The shout outs or first?
Yeah, give a shout out.
So this was episode 21 in the wrap.
22. Yep.
We're gonna go to our last.
You can't go to shout outs right now.
Okay.
Let's cut.
Yep.
Rewind the TV so you can do shout outs.
Yep, perfect. Okay, we'll do that. Chris is the voice of reason there. So
Pop Media MD.
Pop Media, and we out. Okay, AJ, what time is it?
Shout out time.
Shout out time.
Notice how you start doing the Hulk Hogan?
Have I?
That's the Hulk Hogan, yeah?
Is it?
When you produce it, yeah.
Oh, I'm going back a few years now, mate. I wasn't even born when Hulk Hogan was around.
NWO.
What does that mean?
That's Hulk Hogan when he went bad. You know, when you have a good guy and a bad guy character.
Right, okay.
So when he went bad guy, he went something called NWO, New World Order.
Oh, I was thinking about the band, the group.
Come on.
NW.
So imagine if somebody at the Olympia stage start dissing the whole people and dissing everybody on stage.
Yeah.
That's why you turn rogue.
Oh.
You go heel. Okay. Go to your shout out.
Go on then. Mine.
This is a popular guy.
Yeah, my first shout out is Germany's Tim Buddersheim. Just took 6th place at the New York Pro.
Amazing athlete.
Absolutely incredible. Now, the first time I saw Tim actually was in 2011 at the Arnold Europe. He won the juniors there. That was the first Arnold Europe in Madrid. I was very impressed with him. He wasn't actually that much smaller than he is now.
Go to the picture to the right with him next to Milan Sadek. Let me see that comparison. Up. Press that one.
Anyway, and then the last time I saw actually Tim Buddersheim on stage in the flesh was at the 2017 San Marino. He won the Amateur Olympia on the first day, competed with the pros on the next day, and took 4th place. I nearly took out Brandon Curry.
He didn't take out Brandon Curry, but...
Well, he was in the first call. I was there. I was there. He was in the first call out, and the placings were Cedric McMillan, Hadi Chupin, 3rd place Brandon Curry, 4th place Tim Buddersheim, and his condition was insane. Now look at this physique. Look at that.
Let me see another picture alone. Let me see him alone.
This was from the New York Pro. This is backstage with
Go down.
With a fellow European, Milan Sadek, another guy I've been promoting since 2013. Fantastic Czech athlete. But Tim, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
That was from the San Marino. That was the San Marino picture. Honestly, when he came out, AJ, he did this thing with his arms. He puts it back in the Dorian pose with the lat striations. And I'm telling you what, it was absolutely crazy.
It looks incredible, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's proper detail, proper condition.
How old is he?
He was a junior in 2011.
So he's like
only
late 20s?
He's going to be 23. Let me work it out. He's about 31, I would say.
Okay.
31. So he's at prime age to really rise now.
Really marketable look as well.
Yep. He's by the time you watch this, the Puerto Rico Pro will have happened. So, and he'll be going up against Milan Sadek and John De La Rosa.
And this time, John De La Rosa has Neil Hill in his corner.
So that is going to be an awesome battle. So I'm really... who do you think is going to win? Tim? John? Or Milan?
I don't want to say it, and since she's shout out, you're going to keep it positive.
Okay. Well, anyway, Tim's a guy you can always rely on to come on in absolutely amazing.
German fans, they love bodybuilding.
They love Tim. I mean, he's just got such a fan base, this guy. Do you think it's all the Dennis Wolf fans that are kind of they don't want somebody else to follow?
And Marcus Rule.
Yeah, those guys are retired now, so they're looking for somebody else that's national to support and get behind. But can you pull up another picture, Shane? The same picture there for a while.
Shane, you okay?
Yeah, should we throw something at him? We throw that medal at him. Yeah. So really.
That's a picture.
Yeah, he's a dad as well. He became a dad, I think, last year. Got married last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so big congratulations there to Tim and his wife. So, is his mic working? Yeah, sorry, I thought I had a bit of a mic problem there. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just going deaf. So I want to give Tim a shout out. Probably one of the best European bodybuilders on the rise currently. So, can't wait. I'd really love to see this guy at the Olympia. Yeah. He's still got a few improvements he needs to make, but I tell you what, he's got that Branch Warren, Dorian Yates. Look at that. That reminds me of those black and white pictures in Flex magazine years ago. When he used to see Dorian. You know, the Chris Lund pictures. That's what his physique reminds me. Can you get another picture up, Shane? Just leave the pictures up too long there. On his bike there. There you are. Look. Is that an MD t-shirt he's got on? No, sorry. I thought I saw the colours. So I'm getting excited. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at the condition. That gym looks cool. So, yeah.
Great athlete.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Whatever. He's got a bit of a Flex Lewis ginger beard going on as well. So that's very cool. Yeah. Oh,
I like him without the beard. Much better, though.
Yeah, he's very cool. Very cool.
One of my shout-outs, Tyrell Robinson.
Yep. So
this guy, stroll down. Tyrell Robinson. You see him that's with Ty Jordan. Press that one in the middle there.
Oh, Ty Jordan's mate.
That's Ty Jordan's friend. Mm-hmm. How old do you think this guy is?
I have no clue.
22.
22?
Yeah.
He's huge.
22 years old.
He's huge.
Amateur competing in the NPC in America.
Yeah.
Look at this size to be 22. Go to another picture, man.
Sorry, do these Ty and Terrell train together?
Sometimes, yeah, they do. Go up so we can see his physique.
22. You got a family or something?
Well, look at his legs there to the left, maybe.
Fantastic. Yeah, impressive.
22 years old.
Very impressive.
He's competing very soon. This is definitely a guy to look out for in the future from Kansas City. I thought it was Missouri, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Go up. Who does he remind you of?
Kai Green. That one there. That one there, the picture above, he looks a bit like Kai Green there. Like a young Kai Green, doesn't he?
Not at all.
Does look like Kai Green.
Not at all. He looks like Hollywood Jerome Ferguson.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, but I thought, no, I think AJ thinks I'm going to say that. So I said...
No, that's Hollywood. Tyrell Hollywood Robinson.
If Kai Green and Jerome Ferguson spliced their DNA and had a clone, that's what they come out with.
Go up so people can share his Instagram handles. They can follow him if they want to. So this is a guy to look out for. Tyrell _Robinson _fit.
Yep.
20 years old.
23
NPC.
Yeah. Father.
T-Matt, where is he? Yeah, so
Team
that's
Elite.
a good guy.
Team
He's
Elite.
a father already.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah,
My last shout out, because I love female bodybuilding, Josh. Look at this.
Do you?
You've
never said.
This is a woman to look out for.
Okay, let's have a look.
Go to the right, to the picture.
Wow.
Look at the legs, Josh. Look at the legs.
AJ,
look at the shoulders. Gee, this is an athlete. Josh. Christina Nicole.
I was being hit by a tornado.
Josh, come on, man.
She's amazing.
Go to another picture, Shane.
Tell us about her.
So go up to the left. Go
that one
up and
down
press
there.
that. So she's married.
Very excited here.
She's married to another competitor.
Oh wow!
A bodybuilder. His name is what's his name? Do you know him?
I
He's a
think
pro.
I can't see his face. It's in shadow.
Go to another picture.
Tell you what, I wouldn't want to train shoulders with these guys.
Maybe she's okay. Press that one.
The legs, man.
Press it.
Look at the legs.
So this, press it there. So this is one of the hottest new female bodybuilders hitting the stage.
She ain't skipping no leg day.
So this is a talent for all the people like female bodybuilding.
Very good.
This is a woman to look out for in the future.
And can I say she's got a very, very feminine face as well.
Go to another picture of her.
That's important. No, it's important.
Go to another picture of her, so we can see the face.
Yeah, no.
Up. This chain is smoking.
Right. Oh, that one there. Left. Face. A face.
Go down.
That one there. There you go.
So very feminine.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He's a lucky guy. Yeah.
What's his... anyway, so this is a...
Sorry, say the name. I can't remember. Vision's gone blurry. Christina
Nicole Mendoza. So probably her husband, his name is Mendoza also? I think he's a 212 bodybuilder.
Wife of Mr. Mendoza.
Does it say?
Mm-hmm. Well, Mendoza, I'm assuming she hasn't changed her last name.
So she's a Wings of Strength sponsored athlete. And you know Wings of Strength is really... popular at the moment. They you got the Olympia thing going now and everything. Yeah, so guys, check out Christina Nicole Mendoza and support the Wings of Strength with Tim Gardner production and everything.
Yeah, it's important. I think they're doing good work.
So keep at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that our shout outs done?
Episode 22, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Okay, Jay.
It's just a wrap. Drop the mic.
Are you happy with this episode?
Drop the mic.
Just push it, Rob. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed episode 22, our Olympia special. We've tried to cram as much as we can into this episode. And
I'm not impressed by Eurovision.
Oh.
It's not good. It's not good.
Why, AJ?
That was just bad. What did we talk about in the car again? Eurovision. There was something really funky going on. Did you see the Madonna's performance? 3 million pounds, 300,000 pounds for that?
Hey, leave off. She's a pensioner. Don't pick on pensioners.
What's that song? What's your favorite Madonna song?
MD, are you listening?
I got something for you.
Phil Heath, will you come back? I'm gonna win 8 titles too.
Roden has to.
We'll leave that. Yeah, we'll get some hate otherwise.
Okay, we out.
Okay, thank you for watching episode 22 of Global Muscle Radio, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Global Muscle Radio.
And George Peterson is going for the title this year with Henry Pierre Arnold.
The Olympia title. And we are out.